Welcome to the MCG, Collingwood versus Hawthorn. The Magpies looking to extend their unbeaten run to 8 and the Hawks looking to keep their finals hopes alive. Rob Walls, did Hawthorn turn their season around last week? A wonderful last quarter against North Melbourne. Hodge back into the midfield, 12 disposals. Lance Franklin, 4 goals. They looked pretty good in that final quarter.
They were very good, Chriso, and Lewis lucky at the tribunal, so he's able to play tonight. I think it's the first time that the Hawks have come from behind to win a game of football, and with their big guns firing, I'm pretty confident that they'll really put up a good show tonight.
Well, let's have a look at the Collingwood side. One change, Tyson Goldsack is out. Sharrod Wellingham is in.
And big jobs by their key defenders, Nathan Brown, Prestigiacomo, Harry O'Brien, because you've got Roughhead and you've got Buddy Franklin starting to hit some good form. They're the leading goal kickers for Hawthorn. They need to be controlled tonight.
And the Hawthorn side, Murphy and Gillum in the 2 key defensive posts.
Yeah, their backline's been a worry all year. They haven't been settled, haven't had the premiership combination there, but they're starting to get it back together. Guerra, Brown, Hodge, experienced players in that back half.
Should be a great game of footy. Let's get to the opening bounce.
And looking around over the ground, the MCG is in wonderful condition. Congratulations to Paul Medhurst, playing his 150th game of AFL tonight. 99 for the Fremantle Dockers, 51 for the Pies. He likes the big stage, he likes the MCG. He has been a wonderful inclusion for this footy club, Michael Christian.
Thanks very much, Howie. He certainly has. A wonderful year last year from Paul Medhurst, runner-up in the best and fairest, and I'm sure he'll be looking forward to kicking plenty of goals as he'll line up on the bench. And John Anthony Gillum with the job on him. It's going to be an interesting battle with at both ends, Rob, in the key defensive and forward posts.
Yes, and the players taking up their positions, and we're just seeing where Presty goes. Is he going to go after Buddy?
I think he is.
Yes, and this will be a great contest because I think they'll try to have Buddy play well up the ground for a while to run Presty around. Presty likes playing near the goal square. Luke Hodge starting in at the centre bounce for the Hawks.
Underway at the MCG. One down by Taylor. Lee Brown hits the pack hard. Now a chance for Lewis. Knocks to Rioli. Good handball under pressure to Sewell. Guerra and Hodge on the overlap. Hawks into attack early towards Roughhead. He's got it. He's paid the mark. Wonderful start this from Hawthorn, and Roughhead will kick from 40 metres on a 45-degree angle.
I like the idea of getting Hodge in at the centre bounce. He spends most of his time in the back line, and we can see Jordan Lewis roughing up Cam Wood already. And Big Renouf nearly killing Ruffy as he backs back to take that mark.
So Jarrod Roughhead, what a start this would be for the Hawks, and he just misses to the left. So disappointment there after a wonderful foray forward, the first of the match. Short kicks it short to Brown, who kicks it short. Further afield to the at half back. Now Maxwell off to Shaw. Looping handball is okay. Anthony's got it on the wing, concedes ground back to Shaw. Brilliant smother from Big Taylor. Well done. Hawks look up and at them early. Was there a high tackle there on Anthony? No, says the umpire. So a boundary throw in at half forward for Hawthorn.
Great sign there from Simon Taylor. That's what you want to see from your big ruckman, putting that pressure on early in the game. Big crowd, good atmosphere. And Hawthorn looking for a big performance. Bateman, though, put under pressure. And away goes Lockyer. Anthony just having to hold it up for a moment. Dick keeping it alive for Lockyer. Lewis plays it backwards and forwards with Mitchell. Taylor taking it. Franklin storming through. That's a good sign early. Osborne tried to squirt it back. It was ambitious and it came unstuck. Strong tackle by Maxwell, but Campbell Brown, the strong man for Hawthorn. Everyone's searching for the ball as it's spilt. Hawthorn still dangerous. Osborne, Franklin kept coming, but the Collingwood pressure overwhelmed him in the end. O'Brien to Thomas.
Thomas at half-back, called to play on. Wants support, doesn't really get it. Pendlebury, and the ball is over, so we'll get a boundary throw in. Pendlebury couldn't control it effectively, so a boundary throw in on centre wing.
Schoenmaker's playing at centre half back on Travis Cloak. That frees up Hodge to go into the midfield. And this will be a big test for the young Hawk.
Big test also for Cameron Wood. He's beaten there by Taylor. Ball under Pendlebury. the base of the pack. The umpire letting it go a long time. It's not coming out.
Dragged it back in under it. And Scott.
Harry O'Brien playing on Cyril Rioli, and of course Harry can play on anyone. That's the beauty of him. He can play on the bigs, the mediums, the smalls. This will be a great contest between these two.
Taylor again. Wood did well to get the second tap to Lockyer, who scrambles it towards half forward. Big job for Schoenmakers. He does well there. Gets it over. Caught one from Travis Cloak. Nothing in it. Boundary throw in.
An interesting matchup there is that Renouf has been trying to drag Nick Maxwell back, and now he's getting Nathan Brown to take that role so they can keep using. So he's now moved on to Jared Ruffhead, Nick Maxwell.
Thomas. Held in.
Buried.
Held in.
Hawthorn clobbered Collingwood both times last year. So there's Brown with Renouf. As the Hawks won by 11 goals first time around and 9 goals the second time. Bit of free kick here. McGlynn to Hodge, who looks lively early. Bateman. So I don't know what he's after there. Maxwell. Lewis, though, prizing it out. Osborne's been conspicuous. Rioli dangerous. He's got space. He's got time. He's got a devastating left boot. And the Hawks have got the first of the night.
Well, just Maxwell not being clean at this half volley, and he turns it over. Hawks, nice little chip out by Osborne to set Rioli up. But it was the Nick Maxwell fumble in the centre square that set the Hawks up. Jordan Lewis in picture. This is last week. Jordan Lewis punches Ferrito, admits that he punches him. Here he goes again, and that's a bit of an elbow in the back. Not too much in that, but he's on the edge, and this is probably when this Hawthorn team plays its best, when they play unsociable football. We haven't seen much of it this year.
Lockyer a chance. Diving on desperately. Well played by Bateman. Shovels it out to Osborne. Now a chance for Wood, knocked forward by Sewell, only as far as O'Brien. Beams, who started on the bench under pressure. Rioli did brilliantly, taps it inside, attacking 50. Shaw did superbly. Off the Beams. Collingwood under pressure here. Just need to regroup, maintain possession for a few minutes. Johnson off to Didek, clever kick around the body. Wellingham's got it on centre wing in front of the great Southern stand. Big crowd in, looking forward to what should be a terrific battle. Maxwell. What a season the captain's had. 24 disposals, 6 marks, 6 tackles last week. Drives it wide. Target is Brown and or Shaw. Shaw couldn't do too much. He was pursued by Osborne, and we'll get a boundary thrown between wing and half forward for the Magpies.
Heath Shaw in picture. He's been playing half back. Campbell Brown, his opponent. Have a look at that, Lloydie. A lot of handballs, not too many kicks in the early stages of this game.
Pressure's been sensational from the Hawks. What you think you'd need from a premiership side trying to keep their season on track.
And they look tuned in. This is the test for Collingwood that everyone's been waiting for. Hodge probes forward again. And again. And this is very good. Brown, though, couldn't get rid of Wellingham. Terrific tackle, wins a free kick.
Gee, a Brown handball to Buddy would have been handy.
He wasn't given long. Collingwood take it away. Davis to Beams, but the smother from Taylor put the young lightweight Beams under pressure. Hawthorn throwing everything at Collingwood early. Davis, though, cool and skilled. Anthony, Shaw, and back to Davis. Thomas wants to get it on quickly. He's after Lockyer, and he's got him. It was a well-weighted kick. And Lockyer was able to just edge Mitchell out of contention.
Sensational kick here from Leon Davis, the build-up to Heath Shaw, back to Leon Davis, and that's what you've got to do against the Hawthorn zone. They flood, they push numbers back, and then the perfect kick to a one-on-one situation by Dale Thomas.
So many good mid-sized players. This fellow's one of them. And he kicks Collingwood's first goal.
Tarkin Lockyer having a very good season for the Magpies. That is goal number 23. and he's kicked pretty accurately. 23 goals, 10 behind. And he was in trouble when he was on Sam Mitchell. Well, Mitchell was in trouble because Locke is better overhead than Mitchell. A bit of a mismatch out there. Sam Mitchell on Lockyer. Lockyer too tall for him in a marking contest. He's trying to sort out someone else to take that job. I just wonder why Mitchell isn't in at the centre bounce. I guess maybe because Hodge is there.
Wood wins this one down to Pendlebury's handball. Davis, Prestigiacomo, Suvi. Pendlebury, the Hawthorn pressures have been very good around the football, but Pendlebury's kick is effective. Mark taken by Anthony, who was quiet last week, but very busy early in this match towards Cloak, out in front of Schoenmakers. Too far out to score, 65 metres. Driving kick towards the goal square, not a good kick to advantage. In fact, he almost got there in the end, through for a behind.
No, they're the kicks, Chriso, that the coaches absolutely hate, the ones that can easily be spoiled out for a point.
Here's Birchall for the Hawks. That's a good kick. Beautiful kick to Osborne, but he had two against him. He needed to mark it. Collingwood free kick. And it's one of those hold-ups as play went on. O'Brien goes for Anthony. Gillam edging him out. Anthony kept his feet, but Rioli got rid of him.
How quick is that?
Gillam, Sewell, and Rioli again. O'Brien trying to go with him. Rioli's made a good start. Second game back. Bit quiet last week. Very dangerous so far tonight. Kennedy, Franklin, and he'll get a free.
Gee, Rioli made it all happen though, didn't he? By the time Rioli touched it on the half-back flank, he was involved in a couple of passages of play. This was about 120 metres from the time Rioli got it to the time it landed down near Buddy. And Cyril Rioli, you are something special.
Presti, pretty unlucky. Franklin kicks the goal. Collingwood, or rather Hawthorn, ahead by 6 points.
Yeah, you're right, Rob. I thought there was a time where it was just all Collingwood going forward, and Rioli didn't panic. A lot of players would just boot that ball forward, but you know, he made something happen. He brought it inboard, and that was a free kick, no doubt, to Buddy Franklin. Presti's a master at holding an arm, and definitely deserved that free kick.
Cyril Rioli goes back to the forward line, but have a look at this. He has just got the sidestep, the balance, the poise, the quickness. Shares the footy there, and that's the way the forwards like it, to come in so quickly, so it's a one-on-one.
Wood does well. Pendlebury couldn't quite gather though, and we'll get a secondary bounce in the centre of the ground.
Collingwood Hawthorn have actually started the game well, kicking 2 goals, but I reckon their forward setup, they're worrying about the Collingwood defenders a bit too much. Presti's loose man, Buddy's down on the wing, and they've got Dowler deep trying to take Maxwell out of the play. I'd just go and try and beat the one-on-ones in their matchups.
This is interesting. You see Buddy in picture there. Presti's dropped off him. Presti's spare man in defence for the Magpies, so he's going to let Buddy run free in the middle of the ground.
Disputed ball between centre and half forward for the Magpies, so another bounce.
And so Presti's dropped back to the back line. And Nick Maxwell has said, well, you take my opponent and I'll be the spare man in defence. And that's a role Maxwell's played to perfection this year.
Renouf gets it down. Again, ball doesn't come out, so another bounce.
Gee, Buddy would like this freedom, wouldn't he? Run around the middle without an opponent.
Well, I don't think Collingwood would mind about that either, Rob. So Wood wins it this time. Straight to Franklin. Oh, he brushes a couple aside. Then kicks towards half forward, and a good diving mark taken by Dowler. Not paid, says the umpire. Dowler clearly marked it from our vantage point. He recovers well. Bateman not clean. A little fumble, a boundary throw in, and Bo Dowler would be a little disappointment, or we'll watch it on the replay. No, it was good umpiring, just spilled out. So a boundary umpire will throw it in at half forward for the Hawks. Renouf. Swan at the back. Oh, he gave it to Prestigiacomo. It was under the pump. He dropped the footy there. No free kick. And we'll get a bounce.
Geez, the Hawks should be happy. Dane Swan just had his first disposal for the match, and Alan Didak's also only had one, so they'd be pretty happy with that 12 minutes into the game.
Around him, your ball.
Against Renoff. Collingwood's free. Swan wants to go, but the umpire says no. Wood's ball for the Magpies. Short to Davis. Just so accomplished in his use of the ball. Medhurst. Game number 150. 99 with Fremantle, 51 with Collingwood. Here's Cloak. A miscue, but it fell beautifully. And O'Brien can line them up.
Beautiful pass.
Yeah, they moved the ball on quickly though, didn't they? And whilst it was a miscue, Tim, you're right. If you're moving the ball on quickly, a miscue, it either hits you or it hits them. It's a 50-50. You'd be pretty happy with that. And this fella with the footy, gee, he's underrated. He's such an important player. You can see there, #1 at the club in clearances, and you've got players like Swan and Didak and Leon Davis in that squad.
Never been a big goal kicker. It's his third for the season.
Leon Davis, that's just the form he's shown over a number of years now. He's just been enormous. He made something happen. Didak, good hands getting himself in this game. And a lucky pass there from Cloak, which sets up O'Brien. And as you see on screen here, off the ball while O'Brien's having the shot for goal, McGlynn is absolutely driving Didak mad and has limited him to 2 possessions early in this match. So he's been given the big job tonight, Ben McGlynn.
He's been into him all night too, Lloydie. Really holding on to him tight right from the very first bounce, McGlynn.
Lee Brown makes it a contest in the centre. Hodges immediately tackled by Lockyer and Brown. And we'll get another bounce. Didak and McGlynn. Didak just getting himself involved in this stoppage. Now, free kick to Hawthorn, and this is where Collingwood are vulnerable, Matthew, because Lee Brown has to try and compete with much taller opponents. Renoff, Allison, now Mitchell, normally uses it very well, and he finds Lewis. Overlap provided by Guerra on his non-dominant side, but gets plenty of purchase on the footy, going back, almost a clever mark, and Collingwood do well to force it through there. Prestige Como almost took the mark. And Franklin for a moment had his hands on the footy, but it was well done by the Collingwood defence.
Very quick on the kick in these days, the Magpies, but they're held up here. Hawthorn alert to it, closing them down and making it hard now for Collingwood to work it out. And they bothered Collingwood with their midfield grid last year, and it looks as though they're going to try and bother them with it tonight. Collingwood having to be careful here to bring it out.
They don't mind hugging the boundary line, the Pies. Their foot skills are so good.
Medhurst having to come a long way up beyond the wing. Renoff had the run at that, should have marked it. Left the barn door wide open. Big Lee Brown to an unguarded goal, and that is a bad kick. He had 2 choices, to go for home or to go for Dick, and he made a mess of it.
And Stephen Gillam turns around to Renoff after that happened and said, big fella, if you're going to be third man up, punch the ball forward.
The ball has to come forward from that contest as Hawthorn bringing out good spoil on Rioli by Shaw, and the boundary thrown at half forward for the Magpies.
It's actually 17 marks to 3 in favour of the Magpies. Just shows the different type of game styles they play. And Heath Shaw started the game very well with 7 disposals.
And their terrific kicking skills of the Magpies. They hit targets.
Renoff did well, got it to Lewis. He tried to tab it to Rioli. Well, Mitchell and Rioli collide. Pressure from Collingwood is immense as Ben Johnson kicks it inside, attacking 50. Anthony got rid of his opponent and took the mark on his chest. 30 metres from goal.
Well, he did well, Anthony, in the wrestle. He just bodied his opponent out, but gee, they won that ball in the contest situation. Let's have a look at it here.
Just numbers around the ball, Rob.
Yeah, well, just gang tackling 3 of them, and finally Johnson frees it up and gets that ball forward.
Not sure what Stephen Gillam was complaining about there. It was a perfect one-on-one, just too strong on that occasion, John Anthony.
27 goals, 11 from set shots, John Anthony. Let's see what he can do from here. 30 metres from goal, and he's missed to the right.
is
He missed a couple of very simple ones 2 weeks ago from the top of the goal square, so just perhaps lost a little confidence in front of goal.
The Hawks have got a huddle out at centre-half back. They're breaking out into space now. And Collingwood had the outriders from the word go.
Rentguerra is a good kick of the ball. In the end, he has to go the long one. And Brown hammers it forward for the Magpies, but wide. John Anthony met a good man last week in Brian Lake. Matty Lloyd.
Yeah, he'd be happy he's not out there tonight. But I've liked Collingwood's forward structure more so than the Hawks tonight. They're sticking to what they know best.
Good play by Brown. Davis held by Guerra Shorley. No free kick awarded. And Mitchell crashes through. Osborne. Hodge wanting to get onto the left if he can, which he can't. And he delivers well with the right. And Renoff is within range.
Super kick by Luke Hodge. Was he held? Oh, doesn't matter now. That's a bad
time, but misses. Hawks by a point. Hodge very much in the game.
Shaw to himself very quickly and finds O'Brien at half back. Good run provided by O'Brien. Now needs to be acute with his skills here. Wasn't. Good punch from Birchall, but perhaps should have marked Pendlebury. O'Brien followed it up. Look away handball is effective to Medhurst. Now Wellingham. Collingwood trying to move it very quickly. Didak. Nice swerve. And then he kicks on the non-dominant side to Thomas. He'll take them on here, Thomas. He's deep in the pocket. Beautiful kick. It's a poster. Gee, thought through it very well, but just couldn't quite find the big opening.
He was entitled to have a shot, but don't they bring the ball around the boundary line repeatedly?
Long ball for Birchall, who didn't have the confidence to mark a moment ago. And he's beaten here by Anthony. And Collingwood keep applying pressure. Ellis just hammering defensively. Didn't cross the line. Wellingham, Anthony, who's doing some good things. Thomas not quite taking the ball over. Hodge relieves for the Hawks. Osborne having a lot of possession of the footy through the middle of the ground for Hawthorn. The heat really on here. Hawthorn started well. Collingwood just looking at the moment as though they're having the better of the contest. Ellis, careful, and it was a good kick. And Rioli has done 2 or 3 things absolutely ringing with class.
Gee, Collingwood moved the ball on a lot quicker than this Hawthorn team. All of these Hawthorn marks stop and prop.
Rob, in terms of the Hawks' leg speed, you'd say probably only Bateman and Rioli, the 2 fleet-footed midfielders. That's probably their problem if they're not moving the ball quick.
Renoff in the aerial contest again. Roughhead might have got in Rioli's way. Osborne under siege. Great work by the Collingwood defence. Brown O'Brien, that's not so good. Could have opened the door. Roughhead, Renoff. Not quite nimble-footed enough to get his team out of strife. Ball up.
Gee, Collingwood have got numbers back there. They've only got 3 players forward of centre. They really work hard to get back and help each other out, the Magpies.
Collingwood 21 interchanges in 21 minutes as O'Brien gets boot the ball very quickly, but the mark's taken by Schoenmakers. And he kicks across the ground. Hawthorn have got the numbers, and Lockyer overcommitted. Lewis from outside 50, kick towards Franklin. Then Franklin is marked 10 metres from goal.
Chris Owie did the work there well before the ball came in. It was probably 10 metres away. He's, I don't know how, but they had 3-1 here, and he's just pushed off, kept the space, and was too strong there and too quick from Presti. So it's a fair start, having his second shot, second goal in the first 20 minutes.
Should kick it, put the Hawks 6 points in front, and he has just. Hawthorn 21 plays Collingwood 15.
Well, direct kick and one-on-one by Jordan Lewis. And he looks dangerous, buddy. He looks absolutely red hot. Finished the game last week, kicking goals in that final quarter. I think his confidence is probably as high now as it has been for the year.
Two against Presti in a night's not too bad. Franklin has 2 in a quarter. Does Presti speak at all, Matty, when you're shoulder to shoulder with him?
His nickname is Humphrey, Tim, so he doesn't at all.
Hawks have got Hodge down at full forward.
Hawthorn by a goal, and they'll repel Collingwood easily here. Guerra, Brown, good move. Taylor, nowhere to go. He's able to fend off Maxwell. Brown again. Good effort here. Shields with toe. With a kick a bit strong. Rioli, can he work some magic? For once, the answer's no.
Wants it every time, Franklin boys now, Matty. He's leading Presty up the ground, then turning him in, trying to get him with the pace on the way back.
Is where he'll get him on the rebound. I think the loss of Josh Fraser is already showing early in this game. Brenner just working off Cameron Wood.
Wood to Didak. Got boot to ball. Franklin's got it, but he's well tackled by Prestigiacomo. And Lance just getting a little frustrated with the close attention there. Presti taking his time to get to his feet. So a bounce just 25 metres from Hawthorn's goal. Haven't seen a team kick consecutive goals yet. Roughhead just takes it out and dropped the ball. Free kick to Collingwood. And I don't know what he's complaining about, because if you take it out of the ruck, you've got to dispose of it immediately. A good kick coming from Swan. The mark's taken by Cloak at half back. Now, Lee Brown will need to make this a contest, and he does with Taylor. Ellis at the front and centre, but a good follow-up tackle by Lee Brown. And we get a bounce on centre wing.
Big job for Schoenmakers tonight. We see here Lee Brown just doing what he had to do to even the contest, but Schoenmakers got the big job on Travis Cloak. Put Travis Cloak to the goal square and on the inexperienced player.
Wood the tap, and then helps Wellingham in the tackle. Sewell, Ellis, Kennedy. Swan got him. Beams to Wellingham. Hawks look to have it covered. Gillam comfortably. Guerra. Hawthorn defence just getting into a bit of a rhythm. Osborne, Kennedy, Birchall. There's a good kick. Just didn't keep going. Schoenmakers giving it up. Swan, he who hesitates is lost. And that's what the young Hawk did. Davis to Swan. Now Davis. Always creative. Gillam an important fist in there. Brown though. Clever little kick. Won't get a result. Big Taylor. Sewell there to help him out.
Taylor gave the don't argue.
Now Osborne. Sold it nicely. Did it coolly. Ellis, Shields, Kennedy, Murphy, Hodge. And goes wide to McGlynn.
McGlynn now with some space. Hasn't got much to go to. Franklin getting a lead, but Shaw was the loose player back for Collingwood and did enough to force it over. Boundary throw in half forward for the Hawks.
Well, the Hawks are up and about. There's no doubt about that. They've just about doubled their kicks with handballs. A lot of them aren't hitting the target, but at least they're trying to move the ball on in general play.
Ball to the back, Pendlebury. Now Beams. Ball not coming out, so the umpire forced to bounce 55 metres from Hawthorn's goal. There's Heath Shaw directing traffic.
There's no doubt they see Buddy Franklin as the key. Heath Shaw and Nick Maxwell on every occasion looking to get in front of him.
Sewell, hold on, Campbell Brown, a wild handball forward. That's all he could do. And Tuvey returns the favour, fists it over for a boundary throw-in.
So 2.5 minutes, give or take a few seconds left. Didak, Tuvey. Collingwood work it away, but there's a race now. Roughhead competing with Lockyer, and Guerra there to give the Hawks the numbers. Has a target in the middle. Shields. Anthony put a hand on it. An important hand it was. Pendlebury and Thomas. And now Pendlebury. And that's a good ball for Lockyer. Guerra, though, did very well to not give away a free kick as he came almost front on. It's a good win. Great save. Hodge for the Hawks. Floating pass. Target in the clear. Sewell. Mitchell storming past. Good move now for the Hawks. Can Franklin hang on? Was he pushed? Neither of the above. Shaw. Renoff did very well. Opens the door for Buddy. Little fancy with the kick. Was that the way to try and kick the goal, run it home around the corner.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad attempt, Tim, but Renouf, I've been really impressed with him. Cameron Wood, as I said, this is one of the biggest games in his short career to stand up when they really need him.
Kick comes to Prestigiacomo, who's trashed by Osborne.
It's got to be 50.
I'm paying 50. I'm paying 50. Don't lose it. Come with me. Come with me.
Can't do that. So correct call. Gee, the Guerra spoil was a beauty just minutes ago. And there's Osborne coming in late.
Gee, tough as teak, Presti.
There's the Guerra spoil. One, terrific to spoil, and two, not to give away a free.
Ben Johnson over the top to Nathan Brown, who just pumps it long. At the back is Cloak. Called to play on, no mark paid.
That was a mark.
Gee. Shields off to Schoenmakers. Now Mitchell.
Got to be a mark.
Advantage paid. It was a free kick to Hawthorn, and Lewis coolly kicks to Rioli, who finds himself in space just backward of the wing. Drives it long. Brown versus Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson did well to hold his position. Now he needs to retrieve the footy. Went to ground. O'Brien gets a good shepherd from Shaw. And O'Brien streams from half back and finds Maxwell, the captain. 35 seconds left for the Magpies, perhaps to kick one last goal, but not a great kick towards Medhurst, and a boundary thrown as the Collingwood fans show their voice. Here's a look at Nell. Gee, it was hands in the back for a start. Although
it's a mark, or it's a hands in the back, and the umpire jellies.
Well, umpire Scott McBurney there, he blew his whistle, but then called play on.
Yes, he might have traded off one against the other. Still a chance for Collingwood. O'Brien well smothered. Hodge gets rid of him. Renouf, Ellis, split the eye of the needle. Bateman, Ellis again. Kennedy now. Hawthorn with a few seconds left. They need a long kick and a mark. I don't know whether they're going to get it. Franklin's been mercurial in this opening quarter. It has been a humdinger of the first term, and it comes to an end with Hawthorn in front of Collingwood by 7 points, and the crowd, Robert Walls and Matthew Lloyd at fever pitch.
Yeah, I think so. They're still ruining the Travis Cloak decision. Should have been paid a mark, but they're remonstrating with the umpires now. But fantastic first quarter. Both teams up and about. Pressure was enormous in the game, and we've got a big night ahead of us.
7-point margin. Anthony Rocker among the Collingwood fans looking on this brisk Melbourne night. Howie, we're all a bit hungry up here, mate. Any chance of organising a bit of tucker for us?
Well, I arrived a bit late tonight, and Wolsey had already eaten all the pies, which was a bit of a shame, actually, because it's the big Aussie pie night is well and truly on. I think Anthony Rocker, enjoy one those ladies are. And, of course, helps Challenge provide daily support to kids with cancer and their families. It kicks off tonight at the MCG, and 4 and 20 are donating $1 from every pie sold at tonight's game. You can, of course, find out more at www.biggestaussiepienight.com. And the Collingwood Footy Club have also been big supporters for Challenge for many years. Tyson Goldsack and Jack Anthony there helped Challenge entertain 300 kids at the Hilton on the Park Ground Ballroom for the recent Challenge Samba Party. So it's a pretty good night for a pie. Not such a good night for Simon Prestigiacomo under the pump with Buddy Franklin absolutely on fire. Presti just left the ground at the end of that quarter down to the race. You can see him running off there. Buddy Franklin had plenty of the ball. He was unlucky he didn't get a free kick late in that quarter. He went to remonstrate with the umpires right on quarter time, and Sam Mitchell said, no, Buddy, I'll take care of that. But he was excited, he was up and about, and the Hawthorn fans have finally got a smile on their face down here.
And this is interesting. Have a look at where Collingwood's taken their marks in that first quarter, and it gives you an idea of how they hug the boundary line. Their kicking skills are really, really good, and they're prepared to just hit up the short passes along the boundary line to work their way forward.
Well, who'll take Franklin now? Prestigiacomo is off the ground. I wonder whether Maxwell or...
Might be young Harry. And Harry O'Brien heading towards Buddy, and we saw Harry O'Brien on Cyril Rioli in the first quarter, and now he's gone for Buddy. So that just shows how flexible Harry is.
And Tuvey picks up Rioli over on the southern flank as the Hawks head for the city end in the second quarter with a 7-point lead. Taylor went early against Wood, but then held him at bay with his body. Wood, though, had the last laugh. Wellingham, Pendlebury, funny-looking hand pass. Taylor, Mitchell, any old hand pass will do. Murphy to Bateman, and the Hawks win the exchange. Shaw and Brown, and they continue their battle with O'Brien arriving. Roughhead, Renoff. Throw in now.
This is the reason here why we think Presti's in under the race, just getting crunched late in the quarter by the Osborne 50-metre penalty. So could be ribs, could be something internal for Simon Prestigiacomo.
In front, Renoff. Chance for Brown, couldn't quite get the kick away. Osborne overruns it. Little toe poke out of the congestion from Ben Johnson, only as far as Bateman or Dick missed the tackle. Now a chance for Hodge. He concedes 25 metres, but finds Schoenmakers, who deftly kicks towards half forward. Wasn't a great result. Tuvi now off to Swan. Now Ben Johnson called to play on. He's got a loose player. Not for long though. Thomas has got it at half back as Lewis approaches. Kick is not great. In fact, he's kicked it out on the full. So again, the Hawthorn pressure just having an impact on the way Collingwood move the ball. So Sewell, Schoenmakers with the job tonight on Travis Cloak. Kicks to centre half back, Gillum. And they can set up here. No one comes to Gillum, so he can stroll off. Collingwood got numbers back, hence the confusion. And the reason why he kicks across the ground to Sam Mitchell, who's got it just backward of the wing.
There's Collingwood with virtually everyone behind the centre. Murphy, Schoenmakers. Well, big ask here for Taylor.
You don't handball to Ruckman.
He's gone.
You don't handball to Ruckman.
Fantastic tackle from Dane Swan. Not only does he rack up possessions, but can do the hard things like that.
Thomas back to Swan. But both teams being held up by the defensive tactics of their opponents. Cloak. Unlucky to be denied what looked a pretty clean mark in front of goal late in the first quarter. Schoenmakers against Davis. So a ball up in front of Collingwood's goal.
Leon Davis, outstanding season. Won by Lee Brown in the end. Birchall, ineffective. Slapped back by Brown, only as far as Sewell. Was well tackled by Dick. And another bounce just 25 metres from the Collingwood goal. 7 points, the Hawthorn advantage. Brad Dick, round 11. NAB Rising Star nominee. 5 goals against the Demons. Brown gets it to Wellingham. Little handball in the congestion, but it's all Hawthorn here as Birchall shares it with Lewis. McGlynn, Bateman. Back to McGlynn. And now Hodge, who was outstanding. Oh, he takes on Thomas and has been pinged. He took him on, and Thomas, the tackle stuck. Free kick to Thomas at half forward.
Pendlebury, Anthony, big fly. Didak, well held so far. Guerra, Taylor again under the pump. Got rid of it that time. Guerra, Mitchell. Lee Brown down behind play, just taking a while to pick himself up. Schoenmakers for Hawthorn, first season player.
He's been good, Tim. He's had 9 disposals.
Brown looking a little the worse for wear. Yes, Schoenmakers has done well. This is a big night for him. Played in round 1 against Geelong, so he experienced the heat of a very big game early on.
I've loved the intent of Dale Thomas tonight. I reckon he's been up and about from the first bounce. Best game he's played so far this year.
Born again, in a sense. Hawks go forward. Maxwell there, though. Wood, Shaw, Campbell, Brown applying pressure. And the kick hangs from Shaw. Wellingham feels Birchall coming hard, so a throw-in.
Alan Didak in picture and McGlynn tagging him. Didak just the 4 disposals, and that's, you can see he's not happy. He's going to kill him.
Chance for Wellingham off to Thomas. Kicks across the body. Guerra's got the covered, although Davis gets a favourable bounce. I like him from here, Leon Davis, but he pulls it across the face of goals. And a behind only to Leon. Margin back to 6 points.
Sorry, Chris. So once again, Dale Thomas getting that inside 50. He's really his work rate's been enormous. We saw Alan Didak on all 4s there. When you've got a tagger like Ben McGlynn, you've got to work him over, and I think that's what Dale Thomas is doing. His work rate has been as high as I've seen it.
10 disposals already for Thomas, whose numbers tend to be rather more modest than some of the really big ball winners. Pendlebury, Shaw and Davis also 10.
He's not happy, Buddy. Their free kick's gone to Collingwood, but Buddy thought he was interfered with, as he was, around the neck.
Now Didak gets some moment to do something with the footy. Throw in.
Oh, Didak's in the face of Buddy Franklin. He's an angry man, Alan Didak.
There is some heat in this.
Very angry man. He's not getting his usual 10 touches a quarter, Didak.
These are important players. They've got to be careful they don't explode. Bateman shunted over.
Buddy knocked straight into Didak after Didak got rid of the ball right in front of his guys, and he wasn't happy.
It is simmering. Lewis the takeaway. Murphy, Osborne. It's all done under pressure. Birchall able to run onto the well-weighted hand pass and go for Campbell Brown. Should have hung on to that. Keith Shaw getting something in there.
He's been up and about too. He's sure he's had 10 possessions, but also those little 1%ers like that.
Oh, this is on. This is on. This is going to turn very nasty. McGlynn just annoying the hell out of Alan Didak, who's been in sensational career best form. He's not enjoying having a quiet night.
Rob, would you put him to the goal square, Alan Didak?
Yeah, I would, because he would outmark McGlynn, you would think. A really good idea, that. Yeah, and that's where he's gone. He's headed to the goal square now, and that's probably why McGlynn's been told, you get out of the way. We'll drop Murphy back. Murphy should be able to go with Didak in the air.
Good tackle by Wellingham. Now there's a whistle, not from the...
You'd make a good coach, Lloydie.
I reckon Didak could enjoy that too. Going to the goal square, he can just get a minute or two away from Ben McGlynn.
So Lewis now from the wing. Bateman kicks it deep. Roughhead at the back. And Franklin, gee, the two Hawk forwards keep their feet. Franklin can kick a goal and does. He's kicked 3.
Touch.
So Collingwood have controlled things just in the last few minutes, but Hawthorn, against the run of play, kick a very good goal, and that was the free kick. And this is the composure of both Roughhead and Franklin to keep their feet.
Oh yeah, nothing better than a forward keeping their feet. Nathan Brown lost it, and that was the difference between Buddy kicking his third and the Hawks, who are now 2 goals up. Buddy Franklin here keeping his feet. Nathan Brown lose them, and this man has been the difference. The Hawks have kicked 4 for the game. Buddy's got 3. He's on song, and he's even up on the wing for centre bounces.
He is brimming with confidence, isn't he? Which is a great sign for Hawthorn. It is hot Buddy tonight. Taylor the tap. Wood doing the roving work. Wellingham, well done. Johnson releasing Swan. Good takeaway by Collingwood. The kick not so hot. Davis just using some body on Guerra, has 2 to beat. Schoenmakers dumped by Cloak. Hand pass with no carry. Beams. Davis again. Too far out. Sits it for Lockyer. Taylor might get a free. He will.
Great opportunity for Taylor tonight. No Josh Fraser. Taylor should play one of his best ever games.
Oh, the Gillam handball wasn't great. Swan was brilliant and kicks the goal. Well, he's had an amazing season, leads the competition in disposals. He's running from the ground, but look at this smother, and then is able to retrieve the ball, fend off and finish.
Yeah, it just shows what work rate does for you. He's had the 9 disposals, imposed himself in the game, and they desperately needed that. It was crucial. Gets them within 1 kick. Just when Collingwood needed something special, Dane Swan, the man who's just been up and about week in, week out, puts the pressure on Gillam and gets the goal they desperately needed.
Swan's pressure or a careless hand pass?
Oh, a bit of both. I think.
Here's Rioli. And he sparks Hawthorn again. Lewis. Campbell Brown third in line. Tough as teak. Shaw forced to go for the line. Now it's coming back to him. Brought down from behind.
A bit unlucky there, I reckon, Roughhead.
Yeah, not a lot there.
Campbell's off. Obviously, Josh Fraser not playing, so Lee Brown now is in the ruck for the Magpies. And Taylor has to take advantage of that.
So a goal in it still. Hawthorn lead. Kick very wide for Lee Brown. Cowie.
Just 3 on the Collingwood bench, as you can see, guys. Still no sign of Simon Giacomo. Went off at quarter time after that incident with Osborne. So Buddy's got 3 and Presti's still not back on the ground.
Massive loss that. Shields, well done through the congestion to Franklin, who kicks it deep towards Brown. O'Brien over the top. Well, the ball had to come forward. Chance for Brown. Has he got support? Rough hit off the ground. Half volley is through for a behind. So sure to bring it back in. That margin now back to 7 points in favour of the Hawks.
Time to take a breath. For once, Collingwood can't bring it in quickly. Shaw long and high. Lockyer stands under it. Hodge arrives. You wouldn't want to have been Tarkin Lockyer there, but he just stood unflinchingly.
He punched that 40 metres, Luke Hodge, into the crowd. Now Renouf in the ruck.
Brown against him. Well done by the Collingwood man to O'Brien. He tried to do too much. Trying to make play. Free kick to Kennedy, and he sized it up well. And he finds Hodge in a scoring position.
Perfect spot for a left footer in Luke Hodge. He likes to swing them from left to right, but it was all set up from a fantastic tackle from Kennedy, which has allowed Luke Hodge to kick from his favourable spot.
Is it still the perfect position, or do players now prefer to actually bend them the other way? Because they have so much success that way, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And, you know, Buddy's a bit different to the way he prefers to be on the non-preferred side, but this is a perfect spot for a left footer.
And Hodge makes absolutely no mistake. No bend, dead straight. Hawthorn goal.
Well played, Josh Kennedy. He's done a long apprenticeship in the VFL with the Box Hill Hawks, and not only did he set up a beautiful hard tackle, but you know, he's showed great vision to set up Luke Hodge, and what better man to finish off than Luke Hodge. And the Hawks are playing inspired footy, and a couple of goals up.
Well, there's Alistair Clarkson, and there's his cluster. You can see Heath Shaw in the foreground. He's going to kick the footy. Hawthorn players aren't directly on their opponents. See that? They're just filling space. So we've got the cluster back into fashion, and it helped them get that goal.
Renouf wins it down. Chance for Sewell. O'Brien applied plenty of pressure. Pendlebury, well, gee, thought his way through that pretty well. Off the Lockyer. Left foot kick is wide. Medhurst is in the goal square. Can he get boot the ball? He can. Goal to Collingwood. Quick reply by the Magpies, and the margin is back to 7 points. And gee, the wonder there of Scott Pendlebury, he was under pressure, but just took an extra second and was able to shoot the handball out wide.
Yeah, it was fantastic play, and Collingwood key forwards aren't really looking too dangerous in Cloak and Anthony, so they're pushing all their numbers forward, and like the old Pagans paddock, running back into space.
And a quick answer there. Have a look at Tom Murphy, Medhurst's opponent. You just cannot go to ground, and that young fella goes to ground far too often in contest situations. You're out of the contest.
Medhurst gets his first. Davis puts Collingwood forward again. The dangerous Dick. Lockyer. Well, he's hoping for Anthony, but wasn't a great placement. Gillam, a bit more careful with the hand pass that time. Murphy. Dowler. Hodge. Difficult ball for him. Too much weight on the kick. Shaw for O'Brien. Time for a fumble. Davis. Do it on his own. And why not? Deadly left or right foot. Mitchell low. Lewis. Dowler head on coming up with Wood. He'll get a free kick. Not much Wood could do.
No, I agree, Tim. Hawthorn player showed courage to go for the low ball. But what could Wood do? Jump out of the way? No.
So a free kick to Dowler just backward of the southern wing. Gee, that's a dangerous pass towards Campbell Brown. Well done, Maxwell. Now Wellingham got support if he can get the handball off. He does eventually to Davis, who wobbles it towards Beams. He fists it over the top. Swan very good in this situation, but can't control it from going over. So a boundary throw in at half forward for the Magpies. Let's get down to Howie.
And there you see him, the fullback, Prestigiacomo, just came out of the room, doing a couple of laps. Looks a little bit ginger, possibly got some bruising to the back and the ribs, but you'd imagine he'll come back on. He's a tough man, Chriso.
Yeah, certainly is that.
Goals are hard to come by at the MCG tonight. Both teams playing very solid defence.
The Pies are a goal down, but one thing they always do is their tackling is continually up, and 38 tackles to 24, so they're leading that count, which often wins you games of football.
Jordan Lewis, the third man in. They'll do it again.
Scott's got the foot. Scott's got the foot.
Been impressed with Heath Shaw tonight. He's not only had the 13 disposals, but he was criticised in past years for trailing in, leading forwards, leading him up to the play, but he's been right on tonight.
Advantage.
And Heath Shaw's opponent all night has been Campbell Brown, and he's taken the honours at this stage.
So Brent Renouf, his 8th game of senior footy was the grand final last year. They might be aiming for similar honours. He goes to Franklin. O'Brien got him under the ball and kept him there. Shaw to Swan. Pendlebury with Brown coming hard. That was a strong grab with Campbell Brown coming at you. Pendlebury did well.
Short kick, dangerous, and Beams is paid a free kick. So he's got it. That half back and across to Pendlebury. Collingwood looking to set something up from defence as he kicks further across. Mark taken by Shaw. Now Tuvey running very hard for Heath Shaw. Oh, gee, didn't get a great bounce, but Roughhead didn't have his eye on the ball. He had his eye on Tuvey. Tuvey did very well in the end. Makes 30 metres. Charging at the footy was Renouf, and numbers win out here as Roughhead shares it with Allison. Now a chance for Sewell, and Sewell kept running. That was good play by the Hawk. He kicks towards half forward. Shaw, brilliant. Just a little nudge in the back of Campbell Brown, and was able to control the footy. Off to O'Brien. His short kick is okay. Mark taken by Maxwell. Off to Wellingham. Now Ben Johnson. Great to see him back. Handball, looping one over the top is okay. Wellingham from the southern wing kicks. Wasn't a great kick. Intended target was Cloak, but Cloak made it look very good. Superb stuff from Travis Cloak. Kicks it deep towards the goal square. Wasn't to his teammates' advantage, and Murphy takes a good mark.
Goes to Mitchell. Sees half a target, and that's all it was in midfield. And Kennedy, Shields, Mitchell, Hawthorn hold it together. That's better. This time he hits it cleanly. I think Bateman might have been a better result. Now he's got it though, and it is a good result for Hawthorn. Off the instep for Franklin. There's a whistle.
It's against Buddy. He initially got Harry O'Brien a push in the face, so it's the correct call.
And O'Brien, with Franklin standing protesting, goes careering away and gives to Johnson, to Dick, and Collingwood on the rebound. Just wouldn't bounce for Davis. There'll be a ball up.
Got the bounce.
And have a look at the free kick. Buddy reckons it's a joke, but there was the high contact.
Yeah, the rip around the neck, and it's the right call. He's starting to be too umpire conscious, Buddy.
So a bounce 55 metres from Collingwood's goal. Lee Brown. Gee, there's a big pack of players around it. Kennedy shovels it out to Mitchell, who is under pressure, so forced to kick very high. Wellingham pushed his opponent out of the way. No free kick. Chance for Lockyer. Shares it with Didak. 65 from goal. Beautiful kick to Brown. Oh, gee. Couldn't take the mark. Recovers at ground level. Kicks towards Medhurst. He can't control it. It's through for a behind. Missed opportunity there for the Magpies.
Yeah, he just misjudged the ball, Lee Brown, there. But one player I have been impressed with, he is a premiership player, Brent Renouf. It's just his intensity at the ball. He's just had the 8 handballs, but I reckon he and Simon Taylor are the key to whether Hawthorn can win this game tonight.
I agree with you, Lloydie, and I think that without Josh Fraser, they are struggling in the ruck. Hit out certainly to the advantage of the Hawks in this second term.
Collingwood doing most of the attacking over the last 7 or 8 minutes. A lot of pressure on the Hawthorn back half. Holding up so far. Bateman. Renoff. Schoenmakers. But Collingwood's pressure again, winning the day. Brown. Nathan Brown to Didac, a little bit fancy. Ball up.
It was actually the right move from Didac.
It just didn't quite come off, did it?
He probably was thinking too quick for John Anthony, and he's lost his footing there.
Watch them there, Shane. Thanks.
So a bounce just the attacking side of the circle, and there's the McGlynn-Didac battle, which continues. Neither ruckman touch it. Well done, Kennedy. Got it to Mitchell, but he's under pressure. Good tackle on Alice by Pendlebury. No, it wasn't a good tackle.
Sammy Mitchell getting in and under. 18 disposals now to Mitchell. That's the most of any player on the ground.
So Hawthorn, Franklin in front. That is Mark, 40 metres from goal, directly in front. And we'll go back and try and kick goal number 4. And as we look, this is the free kick, and it was there. Just Pendlebury's left arm over the shoulder of Alice.
He goes on his left side a lot, Sam Mitchell, and very competent when he does.
And just that quick kick, what it does, it just makes defenders very nervous. We see Presti here on the bench, still not able to come on in this second quarter.
So Franklin from just inside 50 tries to pull it back and doesn't. So offline his tally tonight now, 3 goals, 2. And the Hawthorn lead back out to 7 points.
That was for number 50 of the season. You'd think he'd get it tonight. 70 or so this time last year. That was kicked straight into Mitchell's face, and he's staggering around, not quite knowing where he is at the moment. Kennedy tied up, and Collingwood again overwhelmed the Hawks. Swan to Didac. Cool and calculating.
Their foot skills are very good here, Collingwood.
Might have got it right on the nose, which is about the worst possible spot. Now Didac again receiving from Medhurst, giving to Wood just beyond range, wanting to get it off. Has a call, a man loose, and he delivers well. And Pendlebury, could have had the shot. Lockyer does, and he kicks the goal, and the Magpies are within a point.
A lot of Magpie supporters, including you, Chris, would have had the heart in the mouth there, but he is as good a finisher. We talk of Leon Davis, we talk of Alan Didac, but Tarkin Lockyer rarely misses, and their tackling has just been phenomenal. Collingwood, 46 tackles to 26, and they're down in the game. It's what's kept them in it all night.
Good news for Magpie fans there, Rob, with Prestigiacomo. And look at this. This was the Johnson kick into the face of Mitchell.
Yeah, they don't tickle, do they? And got him right in the eye. Many years ago, playing for Carlton, Sid Jackson kicked a drop kick into the head of Peter Walker, who stood the mark. It actually knocked him out.
OK, so Kennedy off to Taylor. The big boy just kicks it long towards Dowler. Oh, he pushed Maxwell out. Chance at the back here. Getting back is Tuvey. Ball still in play. Dowler does well. Not going anywhere there. What's the umpire going to do? Free kick to Collingwood. And
Yes.
great to see Presti back on the ground.
But do you know what a drop kick is, Lloydie?
No, I don't actually. What is it?
Was there a report, Rob?
No report.
He was one of the best, wasn't he, Sidney Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
And off to Brown now. Nathan Brown. Big fist from Simon Taylor, but instead of going forward, ricocheted off his fists, and Swan just let him know. So a boundary thrown at half forward for the Hawks.
This big fella in the ruck, number 13, Simon Taylor, he got the message early this year. You're big, you're strong. Start being more aggressive.
Former rower told to lift his rating. The umpires ticked him off there as well. Wood's free kick. Swan, Shaw. Wobbling kick, but plenty of carry in it. One of those ones that kept going. McGlynn found a way out as everyone went where they weren't expected. McGlynn arrives, followed his own kick. Oh, and he's gone.
Magnificent, Collingwood.
free kick.
Game tackling all night.
Beams and Lockyer's loose again, and he'll be lining up for his third goal.
They are so good at hitting targets in their forward 50, and you can see the coach not happy at all.
Ben Johnson here, look, there was the first contest, and he grabbed McGlynn's left arm, and that caused the turnover. Wonderful stuff from Ben Johnson.
He's fighting for a spot in this side, permanent spot, Ben Johnson. And as I said before, I don't like the Moz guys, but this guy is as beautiful a kick as there is in the Collingwood side.
He's kicked 24 goals, 10 behinds for the year.
Playing his 123rd consecutive game, Tarkin Lockyer. He puts it through and he puts the Magpies in front.
Oh, just the game tackling of Collingwood, it's been there. They haven't got the result on the scoreboard, only being 5 points up. But look at this, just enormous from Beams. Young players are inspired by their older teammates, and magnificent from Ben Johnson, which then finished off with a Lockyer goal.
Collingwood in front for the first time tonight, and Alistair Clarkson not happy. Collingwood have kicked the last 3 goals of the game. As we get close to half-time, they lead by 5 points. Wood down towards Swan, ricochets to Thomas. He just waited for Ben Johnson to get into position and finds him. Ben Johnson playing extremely well to Beams. Beams does well to get the handball quickly off to O'Brien, who just sets it up. Now at the back is Wood, should mark it. He does. Cameron Wood, who was drafted at the end of 07. Collingwood traded their 14th pick, and he's certainly got a future. Down to Howie.
Yeah, Sam Mitchell, he actually just came straight off. He hasn't knocked out Wolsey, but he said to the doctor, I can't see out of my eyes. So got a few problems at the moment, the skipper.
Alistair Clarkson would be filthy because they've had the lead for most of this game, and it's just turned in the last 5 minutes. A couple of goals to Lockyer, and should be another one to Wood.
Well, he's only 25 metres from goal, directly in front. Cameron Wood coming in for his first, and Collingwood now lead by 11. Magpies have kicked the last 4 goals in the game, and he's still got to fill out a bit, Rob, but he shows he can mark, he can leap. He's very tall at 205 centimetres, and he did well there to push forward and create an option.
No, he was really good and finished it off, and just a golden opportunity with Josh Fraser not playing to do 80-90% of the ruck work tonight.
The last 5 minutes, the Hawks have only had 3 disposals. That shows how far in front Collingwood have been, and the game is turning.
Sam Mitchell looking like a man with a hangover. The ice pack to the eye. Cameron Woods just kicked his first goal of the year. Only the 7th of his league career. Contests with Renouf. Hawthorn looking for some spark at the moment. The Collingwood pressure has been inexorably growing.
Tackling has been great. Ben Johnson again dispossesses Hodge.
Hawthorn needing some midfield victories, and they get one here. Or do they? Guerra, McGlynn, O'Brien's got him, and Collingwood win it back. Johnson to Beams, to Didak, and the Magpies press again. Cloak, not such a great kick from Didak, which is not something you say very often. Franklin's had to get back. Birchall goes for Sewell. Just faded from view a little in the last 10 or 15 minutes. That's a lovely kick for Rioli. Well covered by Thomas. And Lewis making a meal of it. Gives Rioli another chance, but he looks as though he might be puffing a bit, but he is so skillful. Rough head, there was a bit of holding, no free kick. Shaw and Nathan Brown get Collingwood off the hook, and the Magpies can build again.
Davis, and he finds Anthony on centre wing. 25 seconds left in the half. Good running from Swan. Gets on the end of the Anthony handball. Kicks towards centre half forward. Cloak, Beams, or gee, no one wanted to go for it. They all stood off it. Gillum a handball into space. Sewell's first to arrive, but immediately tackled And we'll get a bounce with just 8 seconds on the clock at centre half forward for the Magpies.
I've said before that teams actually aim for around the 80 tackle mark, and Collingwood are up to 53 already. Hawthorn only 26, so they're on track for over 100, which more often than not will win your games of football.
27-8 tackles in favour of the Magpies in this quarter. Sewell off to Shields, now Birchall. Ellis left it for Kennedy. Half time, and the Magpies turned a 13-point deficit midway through the quarter into an 11-point lead at the long break.
And here's the Magpie pressure, and Matty Lloyd, Robert Walls, it grew as that first half wore on.
They were just sensational, the Magpies, and they have been over the last couple of months. Their intensity, their will, their technique in their tackling, they've just about doubled the Hawks' tackles in the first half. It's been so impressive, Matty.
Oh, it has, and just about every player has contributed in that area. Some of the big numbers, Dane Swans had 5, and Dane Beams, a young fella's had 4. So great to see Sam Mitchell back in the middle, and looking forward to this second half.
Absolutely. There's Lance Franklin. 3 goals 2 in the opening half, and certainly looked very dangerous, particularly when Presta Giacomo went from the ground. But there you can see Presti, right of screen, will take up the position and man Lance Franklin for this second half.
Campbell Brown's gone into the back line. Campbell Brown played as a half forward in the first half. He's now gone onto a half back flank.
Third quarter underway. Magpies by 11. Dynak couldn't get an effective disposal away. Swans kick smothered, and ball tied up in the centre circle, so a secondary bounce. Brad Sewell at the base of the pack. There's Davis and Brown. Campbell Brown, 5 disposals in the first half, playing up forward. Wood does well, but taps it straight to Guerra, who kicks it inside attacking 50. Shaw going back. Fist from Maxwell. Rough head. Well, good pressure from Nathan Brown. Applies a good tackle, and the umpire lets it go, but eventually calls for a bounce 25 metres from Hawthorn's goal.
Collingwood kicked the last 3 goals of the first half. Hawthorn have to make the early running here. Renouf lined up in front of goal at the first bounce of the half. Rioli was excellent early. Presti went sideways. I think it was a matter of having to, because it was the only gap in the players around him.
Nobody in Collingwood's forward half.
In that sort of game. Wood and Renouf. Johnson spinning straight into the tackle. Renouf, and a tug on the arm of Bateman. It's against Dynak. It's an early chance for the Hawks. Butter wouldn't melt in the Dynak mouth, but here's what the umpire saw. Guilty, Your Honour.
Yep.
Bateman doesn't have the shot, and he got the pass right. Mitchell surely will.
Mick Malthouse would be really annoyed that that was able to happen, that after such a big time lapse they could find, and you can see one player in the middle of about 6 Magpies.
Can he see straight? From 45. Yes, he can. An important goal for the Hawks.
I wonder, Rob, whether Alan Dynak has given away that free kick as a result of his frustration at the tight checking of Ben McGlynn. But you know, they can't afford that. It's back within 1 goal now, but just the response the Hawks needed, because they were under siege there just before half-time.
Gee, it was a beautiful kick from Bateman to find Mitchell. Sam Mitchell kicks the opening goal of the third quarter, and the margin back to just 5 points. Dynak and McGlynn. Yes, get another bounce. Taylor up over the top of Wood. Saw beautiful spin out of trouble. Hodge, Guerra providing the run from behind, and eventually Schoenmakers kicks it inside attacking 50. Rough head in front. Presta Giacomo couldn't take it. Front and centre was Franklin. Great smother coming from Nathan Brown. Franklin's tied up by Shaw. Legally, says the umpire.
No, he just went to ground and he cracked him up.
There's the explanation.
Nathan Brown only had the 5 disposals tonight, but he was dropped out of the side last week, and he's come back and done a fantastic job on Jared Ruffhead. Only the 2 kicks tonight.
Ran off, straight to Maxwell. Swan slipped the handball cleverly off to O'Brien, who streams from defence. Deck up, needs to keep his feet. He's outnumbered 2-on-1, but wins the battle. Couldn't get a handball away, although Davis attacked it hard. Well played by the Hawthorn defence. Murphy to Sewell, now to Hodge, around O'Brien comfortably. Wobbles it deep towards the goal square. It's bouncing, it'll bounce through for a goal! What a sensational kick from Hodge!
Chris, you say a sensational kick. The result's sensational. He didn't quite connect. He didn't quite connect with the torpedo. He cuts back here and he goes the torp, but he didn't quite get it. And the bounce favours him.
Gone 80 metres, Rob.
Yeah, well, hey, great result.
Hawthorn
not
back
great
in
off
front.
the boot. Well, 2 quick goals. Sewell handball to Hodge, sidestep. He goes the big barrel, doesn't quite get it, but the bounce favours him, and in the end it's about a 70-metre play, and he says, I'll take that. Well, at halftime it looked as though it might be getting away from the Hawks. Suddenly they're back in front.
Ball.
What's been a sensational move by Alistair Clarkson at the start of this 3rd quarter is Luke Hodge has gone into the middle. He's been instrumental in their first 2 goals. He's going head-to-head with Dane Swan.
Well, he and the Hawks rose to the moment in the last quarter in Launceston last Sunday. Collingwood's turn now. O'Brien, but not a good kick. Schoenmakers in good position, and he had the confidence to take the mark. Gee, he's impressive, this young fella. A little bit of Peter Knights about him.
Yours.
Sewell. Well, the stakes so high here for the Hawks. Lose this, and it really is starting to ebb away from them in 2009. Bateman to Murphy. Guerra. And kick. Maxwell. Davis. Wood. And Leon in control, and it's in safe hands when he has it. To Harry O'Brien. And that's a good kick. Cloak on a long lead.
Thank you.
Keeps it wide. Lockyer. It's out on the full. Free kick to Murphy.
Half back for the Hawks. Chips it inside or into the corridor. Mark taken by Sewell. So Hawthorn certainly controlling things early stages of this 3rd term. He's called to play on Brad Sewell, so kicks right down the middle towards Lewis. Gets an accommodating bounce, or then brushes the Didac tackle aside. O'Brien did well to knock it back into the path of Didac. To Swan, to Didac. Now Ben Johnson's got it. Where will he go? He kicks deep towards Lockyer and Anthony, and he can't hold on off hands. And Nick Malthouse watches on.
They do go wide. They will go to the boundary line.
Just reckon Lockyer had that all wrapped up. Boundary throw in. Ball to the back. Sewell has been prominent early. Good tackle by Davis. He gets it away to Brown. Wobbly old kick towards the centre. Nathan Brown. Osborne did brilliantly in the tackle. Got it to Ruffhead, who kicks towards a vacant goal square. Running back onto it. Franklin, can he get boot the ball? Well done, Prestigiacomo. Took Franklin over with the ball. Boundary throw in.
And Buddy again appealing to the umpires.
Probably been a sign of Jared Ruffhead's night tonight. He probably could have taken a bounce 1 or 2 and actually ran in and kicked that goal, but he's decided to pass it off.
Buddy was taken down by the leg. He might get a second chance for his 4th goal. His 50th of the season. The Hawks by 7 points.
He's probably been the only key forward in the game all night tonight, Buddy Franklin. Ruffhead's been down. You see at this stoppage here, he's just never out of the game, Buddy Franklin. Great pressure by Renouf, and Franklin's kicked the goal there. But Cloak, John Anthony, Jared Ruffhead all been down, so Buddy Franklin's been the standout big forward on the night.
Franklin has 4, and this is the stoppage.
Gee, Presti lets him get away, doesn't he? He got away from him 3 or 4 metres.
Well, it wasn't a great handball from Tuvey. I think that was the issue.
Tuvey handball was a shocker, but Buddy's kicked 4 goals early in this third quarter we're at. And Presti's been a wonderful fullback this year. He just had I think it was 19 goals kicked against Presti in 15 games. So this is probably the toughest night that Presti's had. As we said before the game, Chriso, that Buddy's performances against Collingwood have been very good.
They have indeed. 8 when they last played, and then 6 before that last year. So 14 goals, averaging 7 in the last couple.
5 Brownlow votes in 2 games last year.
It's interesting, they've got him up in the middle of the ground. They decided not to isolate him in the 50-metre area. That could come later. But Alistair Clarkson happy for Buddy to be up in the middle of the ground. He's got Mitchell, Osborne and Roughhead in the forward 50.
I think Rob Presti actually prefers it where he's nice and comfortable, whereas I think when he gets turned inside out, probably more difficult for him.
Holding Collingwood free kick.
Now, I reckon umpire McBurney there just wanted to break up the congestion. Free kick to Wood against Taylor. So 3 goals already in this third quarter to Hawthorn. After Collingwood kicked the last 4 of the second quarter. Ben Johnson, little chip over the top towards Beams. He's got it, 55 from goal. Kicks it short, and the mark's taken by Cloak, but hard up against the boundary line. Not an easy shot here for a left footer. So he's looking inboard. There's Anthony looking to lead. Now there is space in the pocket. Beams leads into that space, but Cloak ignores him. This will require a superb kick. Look at the angle. Out on the foot, free kick to Hawthorn.
Cloak and Anthony without a goal between them. Jack Anthony hasn't kicked one in more than 6 quarters of footy. Campbell Brown back in, I think, his more familiar territory down the back, even though the Hawks have used him a lot as a forward in recent times. Just looks a bit down on form at the moment, but his kick's true there for Schoenmakers.
He's a star, Heath Shaw.
Very good tonight. Thomas too has been good. Not 15. The umpire calls it on. Johnson, time to weigh things up. High ball. Too easy for Lee Brown, just in from the side.
Lee Brown just came on as the ruck replacement for Cam Wood. What he needs to do is finish off here. Not always a reliable shot for goal.
He's the one that wanted it the most there, didn't he? Hit it hard.
It hung in the air and gave everyone time. He has 8 goals, 10 for the season. He's missed often. He misses by the narrowest of margins.
Hit the stick, Tim.
He did.
I just feel that the half-time break has come at a great time for Hawthorn and not for the Pies. Collingwood are all over them, but Hawthorn have come out and are just right in this game and have taken the initiative away from Collingwood.
It's actually Brad Dick on the mark. Umpire McBurney mistaking him for Sherrod Wellingham as the short kick comes to Ellis. Now Dowler, still inside defensive 50, the Hawks. Now straight up the middle of the ground, Lewis. Ellis doing it well at the moment. On the outside of the boot to Bateman. Pushes off Swan. Not a great handball to Rioli, but he makes it look okay. Bateman, this time the handball not great to Mitchell, who under pressure kicks inside, attacking 50, but Roughhead's got it. Can't take the mark. Perhaps unlucky not to get a free kick. Beautiful handball coming out to Dowler from 25. He kicks another for the Hawks. Two goals, the Hawthorn advantage. They've kicked the opening 4 goals of the third quarter and have turned this game on its head.
Well, pretty much a blind kick in there. Could have been a free kick to Roughhead. Wasn't given. Didn't matter as it turned out, but gee, that was terrific play by Kennedy to get that ball out. Kept it alive.
Here's a stat. Lance Franklin, he spent 39 minutes on Simon Prestigiacomo, kicked 3, and 23 minutes for 1 goal on Harry O'Brien. I reckon Harry O'Brien has actually looked the safest bet on Buddy tonight, so I'd actually change that matchup.
Well, against the Tide, Hawthorn have turned the game and lead by a couple of goals. Buddy's got his with typical flair, but that came from hard work and it came from a Kennedy. Josh Kennedy, the 3rd generation in brown and gold, serving it up to Dowler, who's got the footy again, and he feeds it nicely inside. Bad miss by Bateman, but the Hawks are working. Osborne helping it to Schoenmakers, to Bateman, back to Osborne, sitting it up to Franklin again. Quick movement of the ball, Schoenmakers, so impressive. Best I've ever seen him play, and Buddy's mixing his game up. He's back in the goal square. He's been back there for about 3 minutes. We saw him up around the midfield, and just good delivery there makes it hard for Prestigiacomo, but he's lining up his 5th. And I just wonder if Mick Moldhouse is saying, do I need to put someone else on Franklin? So Presti with 3 kicked against him so far. This for a 5th goal on the trot. Just missing on the near side. The agony of it. 13-point lead though to Hawthorn. Middle stages 3rd term.
Shaw to Davis. Oh, not a great kick from Davis. Boundary thrown in the pocket. And Collingwood just out of sorts in this 3rd quarter. Shake of the head from Mick Malthouse.
So much at stake for both clubs. One fighting for a final spot, the other for top 4.
Free kick, pushing out 2 actions in the ruck contest.
Against Franklin.
Bumped him in the shoulder. That's a free. Let go, Allen. Let go.
So Lee Brown with it in the back pocket off to Pendlebury. Short kick to Davis. He got to his feet very quickly, then not boot to ball. Gives Pendlebury another opportunity, but he went to ground and knocks it over, and he'll be pinged for that.
Hawthorn
Just was a bit
supporters
clumsy.
delighted. Hawthorn supporters down that end. They can't believe how good this is.
Dowler kicks towards the goal square. McGlynn slides in and marks 3 metres from goal.
And Alan Didak will not be pleased. This will rub salt into the wounds. McGlynn has done a terrific tagging job on Didak. Didak been up around the 40 disposals a game over the last month. Didak 11 disposals to this stage of the game.
Well, this to extend the lead to 19 points. They trail by 11 at half-time. McGlynn comes in and kicks the goal.
Oh, the Osborne got in front of Didak.
And, now Franklin puts Didak down.
Collingwood in the middle.
See, this
And
is
again.
just ridiculous by the Hawthorn players. They've got the ascendancy, and Didak will be saying, well, I've sucked you in.
You're right, Rob. Actually, Didak...
Oh, gee, Nathan Brown needs to be careful. He put Osborne down.
Didak actually looked for it. McGlynn actually didn't do anything, and Didak's actually quite smart in getting this free kick.
It all started, guys, with Osborne protecting the mark, trying to keep Harry O'Brien out of it so McGlynn could get a straight shot in.
It's turning into quite an unsociable evening. Well, Alistair Clarkson will be happy about that. So, Collingwood finding themselves 19 points down. Heath Shaw. Roughhead down in the back half, though. Holding Collingwood at bay. This has been a stirring revival from the Hawks. And the gauntlet well and truly thrown down to Collingwood now. Oh, Guerra nearly stepped off the mark. Which reminds me a little of the early season match between Collingwood and Geelong. Oh, Didak, now that's got to be a free. He went early and in the end unrealistically, and 50 against Wellingham. I think that was an honest mistake. I don't reckon he quite realised that a free kick had been paid. That's clearly a free kick. And losing their cool players left, right and centre, and a lot of mouthing going off.
It's just a crazy attempt by Alan Didak to spoil. He had no eyes for the football whatsoever, and yeah, was heading to the bench, and see what Bateman can do here.
Might be a modest 50.
Goes to the goal square,
And the Magpie defence equal to it. Maxwell, a timely fist through, but Collingwood in trouble. 20 points down.
Short kick comes to Swan, and really having trouble working it out of their defensive 50 at the moment to Davis. Little chip kick to Maxwell. Still in the back pocket though, the Collingwood captain. So no run at the moment for the Magpies. Maxwell tries to make something happen as he goes back across the defensive goal face again to Shaw, but nothing. And you can see he's Shaw calling for someone to come to him, nothing doing at all. So he's forced to go across the ground again, and he goes wide towards Davis. He kicks it out on the full.
Gee, they've 3 times this quarter they put the ball out of bounds in their defensive 50.
Roughhead from outside 50, kicks a poster. Well, gee, they could be further in front. A couple of posters, one to Franklin, one to Roughhead. The margin's out to 21, and Collingwood despair there.
Collingwood such an efficient kicking side. They're down at 44% for the quarter. Hawthorn are up to 82%. So it shows the pressure that Hawthorn are putting on, and Collingwood, for the first time in 7 weeks, are starting to wilt in this quarter.
Roughhead 3 behinds for the night. He and Franklin 4-6 between them. But he's got all the goals, of course. Hawthorn with a real sniff of it. Kennedy, he ran into his teammate. He was just about through. Brown Lockyer, did well to get it onto his boot. It was all he could do.
He did, Tim, because he had one arm pinged. And they are under siege, the Magpies, at the moment. This is a really good test for them.
Suddenly, Hawthorn, with belief and confidence and skill. Sam Mitchell almost breaking away with it, but Swan to Davis. Collingwood escape for now. Cloak arriving. Campbell Brown couldn't hang on. Cloak. High ball. Brown camped under it. Anthony coming at him. Good effort by the Collingwood forward.
Rob, do you think Collingwood won by a point last week without Cloak and Anthony kicking a goal? They haven't registered tonight. Would you have to take a Davis or a Swan or a Didac and put them deep to help Collingwood kick a winning score?
I reckon it's something you've got to think about, because Anthony is pretty cold, has been for about his last 7 quarters. He's gone off the boil as far as winning the ball, and his kicking's let him down too. And we just see disposals for the quarter, dominance by Hawthorn. I'd be tempted to put Didac up forward, put him in the forward 50, because he only needs to touch it 3 or 4 times. He can get quick goals.
Gee, Sherrod Wellingham did well to get out of there. To Lockyer. Chance for Collingwood here. Anthony, though, will be under pressure. Need to be good from there. Whereas sees him over, and the ball just crossed the chalk as well.
You can see he's got the long stops on there, Jack Anthony, but he slipped over 2 or 3 times tonight.
You're right. I was going to ask what type of boots he was wearing, but he has got the right ones on.
Renoff down. Chance for Swan. High towards the goal square, a vacant goal square. It's wide and out on the full, so a free kick to the Hawks in the back pocket. Alan Didac on the phone.
Another one, Paul Medhurst, who's been very quiet tonight. Just the 5 disposals and the 1 goal.
So Ellis at full back. Kicks straight down the corridor, and look at the space here. Hodge has got it. Sweeps the handball into the path of Lewis. Gets an accommodating bounce. Good tackle, though, by Swan. In fact, it was Tuvey. Rioli in all sorts of trouble. Collingwood pressure, turn it over this time. Swan a little bounce. Oh, Hawthorn again. Applied plenty of pressure. Hodge to Mitchell to Hodge to Lewis. Birchall, they're running hard. Forward to the play to Bateman. Bateman wanting to handball it to Hodge. Confronted by Thomas, not for the first time. Back to Bateman, off to Ellis. Great running stuff from Hawthorn. What a superb goal. They're back to their best.
Back to their best, Chriso.
Well, that was absolutely superb stuff. That was reminiscent of their best football in 2008.
And they took it down the guts. They took it down the guts, and they love to get it in the hands of Hodge. And we see Luke Hodge there. Whenever they can get it to him, he takes Thomas on. And good running in the end by Ellis to receive and finish off, but the veterans did the hard work.
Mick Malthouse has watched his opponents kick 6 unanswered goals in this third quarter. What's happened?
Oh, you're right, Chriso, in terms of this is the best football they've played all season, and they're doing to Collingwood what Collingwood have done to sides countless times this season. Dane Swan felt the pressure just there, cost them a goal.
The heart of Glenferrie is beating again. The Hawks' season is alive.
Wolsey, Showmaker's down back. He's playing so well, and release Hodge into the midfield. Gives them so much more run. Do you think they're better with Hodge in the midfield?
Oh, look, Hodge is good wherever he goes, but I just think in the middle, and they started him at the centre bounce, the opening bounce of the game. I reckon that was a statement to say, hey, we put our best players where the action is, and Showmakers has been terrific on Travis Cloke, taking the honours there. He backs himself in the air. He's a nice kick.
Both teams have a number behind the ball. Xavier Ellis for the Hawks and Ben Johnson for Collingwood.
Collingwood desperate for a goal. And not really looking like kicking one just at the moment.
Got Didak at half forward. Guerra is playing on him. His shadows left him at the moment.
There's no flow from midfield. Taylor, good work by the big man. Bateman, McGlynn getting the better of Didak. Rough head in front. Fights on. Rioli skirting. Magpie with numbers. O'Brien, Prestigiacomo, O'Brien, and they have the southern wing to themselves. Lockyer, Swan. He's quick, but Birchall's coming at him with a head of steam. Medhurst there, Brown there with him. Anthony doing the roving. Hawks come crashing in. Brown, Guerra's been good tonight. Dowler, Hawthorn with confidence. This will hang though. Maxwell's there, knocks it forward. Gets away from him. Still the Hawks lead by 27 points. Collingwood have got to eat into that by three-quarter time if they're going to win.
Three key forwards down there inside 50. Cloke, John Anthony and Paul Medhurst just can't come up with the big play that's needed at the moment. They're down low on confidence, all three of them.
Wood into the path of Pendlebury. Oh, got round the Lewis tackle, then was taken hot. No, he's been pinged. Play on. No, umpire says
No clear advantage.
come back. So Lewis with the free kick between half-back and midfield.
Sam Mitchell at full forward at the moment for the Hawks. Don't see that too often.
I reckon he's trying to drag Heath Shaw out of the action.
Lewis, little handball over the top to Ellis. Very short kick. Shields off towards Birchall. Gee, they're running hard now. They've got great confidence. Kick towards Franklin. Got hands to it. Couldn't take it. Prestigiacomo did brilliantly. Emerges from the pack. Kicks towards Lockyer, who's got it. Right in the centre of the MCG. He's got a couple of players wide. One of them Swan. He'll give it to Pendlebury. Pendlebury now. Where will he go? Oh, gee, it was an ordinary kick from Scott Pendlebury. You don't often see him cough it up like that. Simple mark to Murphy.
Murphy's Law for Collingwood. Everything going wrong in this third quarter. Showenmakers. And Hawthorn on top in midfield. Bateman, Franklin, Rioli. They are good signs for Hawthorn, those two. Not such a great kick. Hands in the back. A free kick to Mitchell.
Well, how he picked that, he said Sam Mitchell to full forward, and I'm sure part of the plan was for Mitchell to take Heath Shaw out of the action, because Heath Shaw, with 23 disposals, has more than anybody. You can just see there, it's the slightest of touches, but it's there. And can the skipper finish off?
Dad not too happy about that. Former Collingwood captain Ray Shaw looking on, and he sees Hawthorn kick a seventh on the trot. It's the Hawks by 33 points.
Well, they are back in business, the Hawks. Unsociable football. We've seen plenty of that tonight. We've seen Buddy at his best. He's put 4 goals, 3 behinds through, and the cluster. We can see the Hawthorn players covering space, making it hard for Collingwood players to lead into. So you've got the unsociable football, you've got Buddy starring, and the cluster back in business. Hawthorn 33 points in front. They were terrific last week in the last quarter when they overran North Melbourne. First time they'd come from behind. Would have given them a lot of confidence, particularly with Franklin leading the charge.
Back in the centre, Lee Brown. Chance for him. He can't quite get the kick away. Ben Johnson, little handball to O'Brien. His kick covered 3 metres. Davis tracks the footy, can't control it. Well done, Kennedy, off to Bateman, who jams it on the boot towards Dowler. He can't control it. Maxwell mopping up to Cloke. And he pulls it back towards Medhurst, who's got it. Needs to get on with it quickly and does. High towards Thomas and Ellis. Ellis should have marked. Decided to try and spoil. Kennedy's in all sorts. Umpire let it go. Chance for Wellingham and kicks it poorly. Straight to Guerra, who marks on the goal line.
Kennedy lucky to get out of that. The Magpie fans are camped behind the sticks at that end. They're not happy. That did look like a free.
Sorry, Tim, they've just blazed away a bit this quarter, Wolsey. They've panicked a little bit, and I think that's all due to Hawthorn's pressure, though. They've been fantastic.
Big quarter by the Hawks. 7 goals, and the Magpies haven't kicked a goal.
Gillen just finding his target, McGlynn. It's all come flowing back for the Hawks. Brent Guerra been very good. He's been the glue of that defence.
Some sides just have the wood in you, and Collingwood have struggled to beat Hawthorn for a long time now. Last year on both occasions, Collingwood struggled to cope with Hawthorn's zone, and tonight's been similar.
So I heard Shane Crawford say that on the eve of the season that Collingwood did struggle to come to terms with it last year. He persuaded me to tip Adelaide to beat them in round 1, which they did for that very reason. And again, it served Hawthorn well tonight. Luke Hodge lifting the Hawthorn midfield in this third term. That kick without the carry it needed. Wellingham in the way. Couple of minutes left in the quarter. A disastrous term for the Magpies. A goalless Jack Anthony. Didak having his concentration tested by a clamming Ben McGlynn. Nathan Brown, big high bomb. Who's there? Nothing much. Thomas waits down and all the Hawk defenders collided. Davis is there, but he just hasn't been able to find the magic in this quarter.
But Tim, it's a good sign, isn't it? Because the Hawks players wanted it. They crashed into each other, and Alistair Clarkson wouldn't be too disappointed with that. Mick Moldhouse would be, because that ball hung in the air for a long while and not one pie went for it.
Brown to the back. Birchall tackled by Medhurst, going nowhere. We'll get a bounce 55 metres from Collingwood's goal. 90 seconds left in the quarter, and it's been dominated by the Hawks. Quite incredible. 7-0 after Collingwood kicked the last 4 goals of the second term to lead by 11 points at the long break. Turvey fisted forward. Oh, gee. Weir and Davis hit the fence. Thomas. And nothing doing, says the umpire. So a boundary throw in. 30 metres around from the Collingwood goal. Lockyer. Brown. Only gained a couple of metres. Kennedy. Well done by Roughhead. Feeds it back to Sewell. A lot of numbers back to Hawks. And he kicks it wide. Osborne up. Now a chance for Turvey. Just over a minute left. Turvey. Oh, damn. How many times has they done that this quarter, Rob? Kicked it out on the full.
Yes, and Collingwood supporters just can't believe what they're seeing. Unbelievable quarter, isn't it? The Magpies have kicked just the one behind. Hawthorn have kicked 7-3. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be the first couple of Collingwood players to come into the huddle.
Well, that's a slightly dangerous kick in the dying seconds. O'Brien for Collingwood as they strive to break the drought. Presti, 85 from home. Didak is there, so was Anthony. Couldn't hang on. Sewell, Brown, Gillen, little dangerous. Still time for the Magpies. Thomas, O'Brien, Harry O'Brien lurking. Just needed to be clean. He'll get a go at it now. He's hooked it. Someone got a clean pair of hands. No, they haven't. Collingwood have been into the 50 12 times in the quarter for 2 behinds. Hawthorn have entered theirs 13 times for 7-3.
It has become dysfunctional, Rob, this quarter for Collingwood. Tim said 12 times, and they haven't looked like scoring. They've actually blazed away more than I've ever seen them. They're usually a precise kicking side, but their structure is completely broken down.
Yeah, and Mick Malthouse can't wait to get out there. And I reckon the Hawks will be happy for the siren too. They've just about spent all they could in this quarter. 7-0. They'll be well satisfied with that.
What a quarter it was. Hawthorn lead by 32 points at 3/4 time.
Well, it was just amazing turnaround, wasn't it? And you've got to say, where did it come from? I think a lot of it came from the ruck, and they've been knocked around without Josh Fraser. The hit-outs going Hawthorn's way. Sam Mitchell certainly lifted. Luke Hodge was terrific in the midfield. Buddy was lively up forward. Roughhead started to get a bit of it.
It's going to take a massive amount, and I think a reshape of the Collingwood structure for them to get back in this game, Rob. I think it may take a Davis or someone. They have to probably give up something in the midfield to try and gain something up forward.
Buddy Franklin, who's been able to put 4 through, and Roughhead, whilst he hasn't kicked a goal, he's kicked 3 behinds and is looking dangerous.
Nervous about 8th position, Matty Lloyd.
Yeah, it's percentage keeping us in at the moment, but they have got a tough run coming up. I think they've got St Kilda and Geelong to play also in the next few weeks, but this would be the perfect start if they can finish it off in this last quarter.
Well, Collingwood don't want to put their fate in others' hands, but they'd love to see Fremantle upset Brisbane, and the Dockers are doing pretty well at the Gabba. They'd also like to see St Kilda beat Adelaide tomorrow, just to make 4th place safe for the time being. A quarter to go at the MCG. Collingwood with a huge task, 32 points down after a Hawthorn whirlwind in the 3rd term. Taylor and Wood, Beams, Lockyer. Collingwood make the first advance. Birchall, a left-sided player in the way. McGlynn, untidy hand pass. Bateman, hard worker. McGlynn again. Hodge not quite expecting it. Mitchell, oh, beautifully done to Hodge, to Franklin, an exquisite move from the Hawks. Could they finish? Hodge back to Franklin. Could he do it? It hangs. It goes through for a magnificent goal. His 5th of the night. The Hawks are on fire.
That was incredible football. That was the play of the game. If we can have a look at it, just have a look at the work of this man here, Hodge. It starts even before there with Hodge, but he gets the handball out. He keeps going. He gets the handball back to Buddy, and they just share it. 3 or 4 handballs, and Buddy kicks a long, long goal on the angle. And that just about breaks the heart of Collingwood supporters and gladdens the heart of the Hawks. That is just what they want to see. Their 2 best players, Hodge and Buddy, doing their thing.
I think that's where Pressie's been found out a bit tonight, going back towards goal. So I'd make the move and put Harry O'Brien onto Lance Franklin now.
38 points to Hawthorn lead. Luke Hodge has been outstanding in the midfield. He did it across half-back last year, but starring at the moment is Didak with an opportunity. Off to Swan. Wood. And just kicks it high. Medhurst, an impossible task. And Brown and Taylor combined and will repel the Collingwood attack. Off to Bateman. Not a great kick. Chance for Ben Johnson. Gathers to Swan. Now Didak. Off a step. Kicks it well. Mark taken by Anthony, but too far out to score. Sweeps the handball wide to Medhurst. Oh, gee, he's in all sorts. He was able to shake the Brown tackle, though, Medhurst. On the outside of the boot, kick it forward, but only as far as Birchall.
Gee, that's cute stuff. I don't know if Mick Molehouse would be happy with the Medhurst cute kick on the side of the boot.
An unhappy 150th for Paul Medhurst thus far. Rioli to Schoenmakers. Picks off Lewis beautifully. Osborne. Hawthorn on the build again. Optimistic hand pass for Sewell. Mitchell as they prize it out again, and Roughhead goalless and held at bay by Brown. Got into his back. Oh no! It's a free kick to Roughhead.
He's rewarded Roughhead for the tackle, Tim, and it was a pretty good effort by the big fella to be able to come back like that. We didn't know whether it was in the back or incorrect disposal, but we'll have a look at it here. Had opportunity and he didn't get a handball on it.
He fell on his back. It's 6 or 1 1/2 dozen of the other. Collingwood could consider themselves a little unlucky. Roughhead goalless for the night. And this to completely put paid to Collingwood's hopes in the night. And Roughhead does just that.
He's been one of the winners for Collingwood tonight, Nathan Brown, but he was there in the one-on-one once again, but just had no support when the ball was there. Good pressure from Jared Roughhead, but once again no, Maxwell, Presti, they were too occupied by their own opponents, and Ruffy was able to kick that goal and might help his confidence and might finish with a few in this last quarter.
Hit-outs for the game, 39 Hawthorn, 25 Collingwood. Even with Josh Fraser, they rarely win the hit-outs, but Fraser gets 20 disposals around the ground and is one of the top clearance players. Another hit-out to the Hawks.
Chance for Wood. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Taylor. And Taylor just making Wood feel it.
Thanks, Cameron.
We all expect Hodge and Franklin to do what they've done tonight, but Showan makers, I sat back here a few weeks ago and watched Melbourne West Coast to see Jack Grimes play a sensational game, and I've just loved watching Showan makers tonight. He's going to be a star of the future in his 7th game of AFL footy.
He's from the Norwood Football Club in Adelaide.
And Cameron Wood just feeling the effects of that big tackle from Taylor. And I'll get your comment in a moment, Rob, but I think Simon Taylor reminds me a bit of Crackers Keenan back in the 70s, the way he stalks around those centre bounces as Collingwood bring it forward. Well, that was a throw from Didak, got away with it. Tuvey now kicks towards Anthony. He's got to beat 3. Lockyer arrives to provide support. Oh, big Taylor couldn't quite get it away. Well done, Anthony. Taylor does well, knocks it to the advantage of Murphy, but desperate stuff by Anthony, diving back in top of the football, and he's earned the free kick, I think. Good desperate pressure from Jack Anthony, and he's got the free kick 35 metres from goal on a 45-degree angle. Stephen Gillam just disputing the decision there, asking the question.
It was great play from Jack Anthony, and it's well deserved, this shot. The pressure he's put on, he's tried to get physical. He was 1 against 3 on the previous occasion. He's a beautiful kick, Jack, but he's in the last few weeks he's just lost his radar and confidence. So this is big for him.
Yep. He comes in. Oh dear. He really has lost his radar. He never, in fact, coming into today, even after he missed those 2 easy shots from the top of the goal square 2 weeks ago, he's still 12-3 from set shots.
Medhurst off. I reckon that would be a result of the little check side kick that he attempted.
Well, we were wondering about the state of the Hawthorn heart. Right now, you wonder about the state of the Collingwood head. Anthony can't kick a goal to save himself. Didak's been an angry man all night. Medhurst hasn't been focused. Black night for Collingwood.
Collingwood ruck problems continue.
After 7.5 weeks of tremendous football, it's all come adrift. 9 unanswered goals. Collingwood haven't kicked a goal for nearly 3/4 of an hour of footy. Hodge pummels Hawthorn forward again. Here's Buddy. Presti holding him. Franklin to Sewell. Back to Franklin. He's like a colt who's been let out of the paddock. It's a monster kick. Not quite big enough, not quite on line.
That's amazing kick, that, Tim. He's kicked that from 53 metres out, back-pedalling virtually, and almost kicked a goal. He is freakish.
I reckon the great thing tonight is the way his competitive juices seem to have been stirred again. They don't look as though they've been really alive this year.
Yeah, last week, Tim, he hadn't had a goal to 3/4 time, but the signs were there that his work rate was absolutely enormous, and he got the 4 goals, which he deserved, and it's continued on tonight.
Shaw to Thomas, now Swan. Ben Johnson, had to get it on quickly and did to Didak. Non-dominant side, ineffective. Taken by Guerra. Beautiful kick in the mark. Well, no, it wasn't. It was intended for a rough head. Well done by Nathan Brown. He chops it off. Kicks it to Cloak, who's got to beat a couple. Ball to ground level. Cloak fights on. Clever little kick around the body. Just pitched in front of O'Brien. Made it awkward, though. He got it to O'Brien. Off to Swan. Left foot kick is marked by Rioli. Can't take a trick at the moment, the Magpies. Sweeps the handball into the path of Sewell. Up the corridor they go again, Hawthorn. The kick is wide. Franklin's got to beat 2. And this time the Magpies win out through Heathshaw.
Probably their best. Maxwell. It was a good kick, and that's a push by Dowler. Beams to take the free. Margin 44 points. You wouldn't have credited this the way the second quarter of the game was going. Maxwell Pumping it long and high, Anthony there, and he's got it, and he'll get another crack at them. But the angle is tighter than last time.
I don't know if he wants to have a kick.
Once again, it was 1-on-3, so if he didn't take the mark here, they were just going to run it out. But what you got to do, you know, I've missed a few this year myself. You've just got to back your routine in. You've got to kick through the football. There's nothing worse than stabbing at it, which John has, and that's why they haven't been coming off as well.
Well, at the start of the season, he walked in 12 paces and ran for 12 paces.
He's broken from the routine there, and he's kicked it beautifully. Well, he put a bit of pressure on himself and focused on the kick.
I think he's decided I'll take a shot on the run because the set shots haven't been too good. But good on him. He's tried hard on what's been a tough night for him against countless numbers from the Hawthorn defence. But the experience of the Hawthorn midfield, Sewell, Mitchell, Hodge, up against the tough bodies of Collingwood has just been the difference in the game, and has what won them from on top of Lance Franklin.
It's been 45 minutes from Collingwood's 7 to their 8th goal.
All right, margin back to 38 points. Lee Brown to do battle with Taylor. Taylor wins it down into the path of Lewis. Couldn't control it. Loose footy. Oh, gee, Kennedy and all sorts there. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. We'll get a bounce the attacking side of the circle for the Hawks.
Rob, is Josh Fraser Collingwood's most important player in terms of going forward and winning a premiership?
I don't think they can do it without him. We've seen that tonight. They've been knocked around in the hit-outs and the clearances. And he's like a second midfielder for you, Josh Fraser, because he averages around 20 disposals a game. He reads the play really well. He runs out into space. So, yeah, he's vital to them.
Brown does well in that contest to Nathan Brown. Couldn't get the kick away. Pendlebury, slick handball, beams now off to Wellingham, who drives it deep. One-on-one here against Travis Cloak. So free kick to Gillum at full back for the Hawks.
Shields. Sure whether to come or go. Puts Ellis under pressure. Murphy comes in to lend a hand. Back to Shields. Bateman, but Davis there. Started very well. His influence has waned. Oh, Guerra trying to outmark Lockyer. He's been paid the mark.
Gutsy decision to try to outmark Lockyer from behind, but he did it.
And Lockyer not complaining about it. Umpire Matthew Nichols saying that Guerra had purchase on the ball. Xavier Ellis.
Play on now.
Hawthorn by 38 points. Still nearly 12 minutes left, but it would take something absolutely unforeseen and calamitous for Hawthorn to lose this. Roughhead in the Franklin direction. Oh, Presty just getting a fist on it late. Franklin's been thrilling tonight. It's all come back on the big stage, and he loves it.
They've still had more inside 50s tonight, Collingwood, but it just shows how efficient or inefficient Collingwood have been and how efficient the Hawks have been. Look so much more dangerous going forward.
Wood back on the ground. Renouf. Osborne well tackled. And the umpire letting it go a long time before giving Collingwood a free kick.
Collingwood free kick.
So Osborne gives the footy up. And Turvey handballs off to Pendlebury, who kicks it short to Ben Johnson.
Fine there.
At half back. Oh, gee, not a great kick. Chopped off by Ellis, who wobbles it inside, attacking 50. Franklin in front. The quick kick came in. Franklin was in front. It dropped short, and he was strong overhead and will kick from 50 for goal number 6.
They've mixed their forward lineup all night, Matty, haven't they? You've had Buddy in there, then he's up around the wings. Roughhead's been back, and then up around the wings. Rioli's been back there. Osborne. They've chopped and changed their structure from go to woe.
From 50.
Yeah, you're right, Robin. And it's so unpredictable and hard to stop when you just don't know. The backmen can't get settled, and I felt the Hawthorn backmen have sorry, the Collingwood forwards have been too predictable tonight, and it's been too easy for Showen makers and the others.
So Guerra for Hawthorn, and the Hawks keep pressing. Sewell. Mitchell kicked a couple of third quarter goals. He gets another one here. 3 for the night.
Just what we spoke about, the unpredictability of the Hawthorn forward line, and to get 3 goals out of Sam Mitchell, you would have taken that at the start of the night, considering there hasn't been any multiple goal kickers from the midfield of the Collingwood Football Club.
Gee, he likes going on that left foot. He feels at home swinging around on the left as much as he does on the right. The coach is happy, the supporters are happy, and the heartbeat is strong.
They say at Glenferrie injuries above the shoulders don't count. Sam Mitchell's proved that. At Collingwood, injuries below the waist don't. If you're the squeamish type, look away now. Nathan Brown hurt his knee a little while ago, seeming to hyperextend it. But he has made a full recovery and he's out there in the action.
Pendlebury wide towards Thomas. Support from Swan. A little left foot kick. Didn't quite get to its target, although Beams gathers on the bounce to Pendlebury, back to Beams, but going around in circles at the moment. The Magpies, good kick, finds O'Brien. And his kick is effective. Mark taken by Thomas, 55 from goal. Off to Pendlebury. He's not on his non-dominant side, but he kicks it beautifully towards goal and kicks one for the Magpies. Margin 38 points as Nathan Brown coming from the ground, feeling the effects of that incident.
This has been the best way and probably the best foray forward for Collingwood, because they haven't really had any winners in terms of contested marking inside 50, so they've nearly got to just work the ball as much as they can these last 5 or 6 minutes that have shots on the run.
And the Hawthorn ruckman, Renouf, the second ruckman, who'll contest this ball, hasn't had a kick, but he's had 10 handballs and he's been very lively around the ground. He's done his job tonight.
Hawthorn by 38. Collingwood's midfield hasn't been able to play with the fluency tonight that has dominated so many games lately. Good grab by Beams. And good vision. Placement for Swan. Anthony on the lead. He can have another go.
That was a terrific mark by Beams, and you can see Anthony there really doesn't want to have the shot, tried to give it off. Just take the responsibility on, young fella. You're in the team as full forward. That's what you're expected to do. Dane Beams, he eyes on the ball, hard at it. That's a terrific mark, because that hung in the air for a long while.
So Anthony breaking the ice for the goal a few minutes ago, and he's got a taste for it now. It's his second.
Yeah, that's what we saw a lot of Jack Anthony earlier in the year, kicking 4s and 5s, just leading up with the football, and just with the Hawthorn zone and flood, he hasn't been able to do that as much tonight, but he's really worked hard throughout this last quarter to actually make something of his night with his second goal in the 4th quarter.
See Nathan Brown there, hyperextended that knee straight down the race. No chatting with the doctor, straight down the race, and just struggling to get down there as well. So not too good signs there for Collingwood.
No, he's been very good tonight too, Nathan Brown. So Renouf allowed to go at it by Wood. Hodge has been outstanding. Off to Kennedy. Into the path of McGlynn, who's done his job as well. Good pressure coming from Swan. Good chase down. Now Franklin's got to beat 3. Toe pokes it back towards McGlynn. And put down again by Swan. And a boundary thrown at half forward for Hawthorn.
Rob, when the night started, you'd get told that Didak, you'll have 17 possessions, and McGlynn, you'll have 16. You'd take that every day of the week, wouldn't you?
Well, you would, particularly if Didak's 17 disposals didn't include a goal.
Shields dives on the football. It needs to come out, and it does. Osborne was able to reach in and grab it. And we'll get a bounce 55 metres from Hawthorn's goal. Alistair Clarkson, we saw some scenes in the second quarter, not happy, but his demeanour has improved an enormous amount since then. As Renouf knocks it forward. Chance for Hodge, who runs onto the footy from 30 metres, kicks a goal!
What a game this bloke has played. He's just been absolutely enormous. 31 disposals. He's kicked 3 goals. Oh, he's just, what a game. It's sometimes you don't appreciate players when you don't get to see them up close and live each week, but he has just been the difference after half-time. He's been the heartbeat that's won them this game, along with Buddy Franklin.
Decent sort of game at the MCG next Saturday afternoon. Hawthorn and Geelong. Then a trip to Adelaide, then St Kilda, and then the Crows. Doesn't get a whole lot easier for the Hawks. But there'll be some nervous teams facing them now. Kennedy. He looks a good prospect for Hawthorn. Renouf. And here comes Franklin again. Presti worries him out of that one, but beaten but unbowed was Buddy. Bateman now. Bit much curl. Howie.
Sam Mitchell also off the ground. The Hawthorn skipper went straight down the race. Also had problems with an eye tonight, but seemed to be holding an arm or a shoulder, so not good signs now for the Hawks.
Shaw to Pendlebury, back to Shaw. Had a lot of trouble getting it out of defence in the second half, the Magpies, but they do it pretty well here as Shaw finds Swan, Beams, O'Brien, the numbers on the southern wing. Back to Beams, back to Swan, who kicks towards Anthony. He gathers the ball and does well to shake the tackle. Back to Swan, who kept going. Wonderful play from Dane Swan. Good chase as he kicks towards full forward Cloak, but there was just enough pressure on the footy and on the kick from Murphy, who chased hard. And the result is a boundary throw in deep in Collingwood's right forward pocket.
Rob, do you think if Rocker can get any football in the next month, there's a place for him in this side?
No.
Simple as that. Danger territory. Oh, tremendous lunging tackle leading to a poster.
I just think that Anthony Rocker hasn't played for it. It's not weeks, it's months now. And
he might have to come in. They've got some problems.
Yeah, I can't see Anthony playing senior footy again this year.
Oh, not a great kick in. Dane Swan, little kick around the body into the path of Beams, but takes a while to gather. Off to Lockyer, who kicks from standing start and kicks it behind.
What do you think, Lloydie?
I just think that tonight they've just probably lacked someone to just stand there and be a presence for them. So it has been, it might be just a one-off that they've had a bad night tonight, but I agree, he's missed too much footy, so unless he can at least get 3 or 4 weeks, if he can do that, I'd be willing to actually take the punt and play him towards the end of the season.
I wonder what Jack Anthony's done to himself. How he'll be looking into that for us.
Possibly cramped him in his hamstring. I thought he'd done his hammy first, but I think he's just cramped up a bit.
To Lockyer, O'Brien, Shaw, Drew Franklin to him. And now Medhurst back. But anything he does now is going to be much too little, way too late. Hawthorn by 37. Beat Collingwood by 11 goals and 9 goals last year. And they certainly maintain an ascendancy over the Magpies.
There's Josh Kennedy, Tim, and he's had 2 kicks and 16 handballs. He's been fantastic tonight and some of the best tackles of the game.
Big kick from Cloak. Murphy, the head down. What's the umpire going to do here? He's going to let it go. Ball spills out. Chance for Lewis. He gives it straight up to Lee Brown. Good handball. Beams, left foot snap across the body is a goal to Collingwood. Margin back to 31 points, but all too late for the Magpies.
Yeah, Beams, he's, probably wasn't as highly credentialed as Steele Sidebottom, but Steele's in the VFL at the moment. But Dane Beams has just shown so much class for such a kid at such a tender age. And the other one who's probably been down tonight is Brad Dick, who's just had the 5 disposals and found the heat tough.
There is John Anthony. It was real heart-in-mouth stuff for Collingwood fans. You can see here, he just looked like he cramped up. But the immediate thought was that he'd done his hamstring. Collingwood fans were going, oh no. And you just see as he pulls up here a little bit tight in the back of the hammy. But he hasn't done his hammy, just cramped up.
Tired bounce from Steve McBurney. Another Hawthorn takeaway. Again, it's Hodge. Roughhead just hasn't been able to snare a mark in front of goal. Heath Shaw holding it together for Collingwood again.
Well, one of their big winners tonight, Heath Shaw. That's his 31st disposal, and he's actually been pretty good on all of his opponents as well. He's currently playing on Dowler. He took care of Campbell Brown early in the game also.
Tarkin Lockyer their best at the other end of the ground with 3 goals, all in the first half. Hawthorn on a wide arc. Murphy, Birchall, Franklin. He's covered some territory tonight. Guerra with that scything left foot. Bateman takes on Wellingham. Impossible angle out on the full.
Good play from Wellingham. Just stood off Bateman and was able to put enough pressure on to affect the kick. So free kick to the Magpies in the back pocket. Heath Shaw across the ground. Lockyer needs to fly here. Through his hands. He's got support out wide from O'Brien, who paddles to the line. So we've got a boundary throw in between wing and half forward for the Hawks.
Magpies with a huge game next week, Friday night against the Blue Boys. So they haven't got long to. They'll get over this tomorrow, look at it on Monday, and then move on, because it's another big one next week.
The Blues are coming, Lloydie. Did you know that?
I've heard that one, but we've got them twice this year. So.
You were waiting for them. So free kick to Taylor. High and wide towards Roughhead, who flies, and well done by Tuvey, getting up and affecting the spoil. Simon Taylor, is there any crackers Keenan in him, Rob?
Yeah, there's a bit of that. There is. We're looking at Nick Maxwell. He's played every second of the game. Nobody else has done that. He's been out there for 120 minutes.
Franklin finally gets the handball out to Lewis, who cleverly kicks around the body, measured it superbly. He's kicked a goal. Jordan Lewis adds to the tally. In the eyes of some, perhaps a little lucky to be playing tonight, but he's played very well, as he normally does. 27 disposals, his first goal of the evening. And the lead now by the Hawks is out to 37 points.
Yeah, Chris, so all the old stages and the hard bodies.
Bad night for Mick. From go to woe, he couldn't find the right chair early in the night. When he did, it didn't seem to help his health and temper. And as he saw his team fall apart in the second half, the strain was showing.
Yeah, and the strain's been on him, because Hodges had 32, Bateman 27, Lewis 27, Mitchell and Sewell 25. So all the senior hard bodies of the Hawks have been good tonight.
That kick from Jordan Lewis tried very hard not to go through. Would have been extraordinary if it landed on the chalk, went sideways and hit the post. That's history. The future is a shot for goal from Jared Roughhead. And the future beyond that for Hawthorn is a series of very big matches in which they will battle to keep their finals chances alive.
Another clearance by Luke Hodge, who's been outstanding tonight. And well done to put him in the guts from the opening bounce.
Roughhead kicks his second goal of the night. And the Hawks just go further ahead. They've kicked 6-4 in the last quarter after 7-0 in the second. It's been 13 goals to 4 since half-time.
And they set the scene from the first bounce. Luke Hodge, first bounce after half-time, and he had it, and he got it out there, and Franklin kicked the goal. So they just came out a different side after half-time, and they've had so many contributors from down back, middle, forward, and you wouldn't want to play them in the first final if they finish 7th or 8th.
There's Collingwood's draw over the next month. Cracker against Carlton on Friday night. Then the Lions down here, they beat them in Brisbane. Huge game in Adelaide against the Crows. That might be for 4th spot.
Wood wins this one. Taylor's able to soccer it forward towards centre half forward. Lewis in front, off the Shields. Umpire lets it go. Kennedy. Birchall. Gee, they share it around well, the Hawks, as Lewis kicks towards Franklin. Shaw had to be third man up. Dayler at the fall. Couldn't quite pull it back far enough. And behind to the Hawks. Margin out to 44 points.
Collingwood led by 11 at half-time, so the swing has been 55. Harry O'Brien getting away from Werra and losing his shorts. Werra seized the moment to get him again. Ellis, lovely creative hand pass. Osborne just couldn't latch onto it.
Rob, I think a point for Collingwood, and I think it's good that it's happened now and it isn't in the finals, is they've probably struggled to deal with the cluster or the zone of Hawthorn tonight. So I think that's an area that they could look at leading into the finals.
Absolutely. Look, Mick Moldhouse's team's won 7 in a row. This is a pretty heavy defeat. It'll certainly give the coaching staff plenty of ammunition to work with this group. They've been fantastic, Collingwood. I've seen a lot of their wins, and they played some really good football. They struck the Hawks, probably with the Hawks spirit as high as it's been this year after that come from behind win in Tasmania last week.
Tackle, free kick, Collingwood.
Beams receiving the hand pass for the Magpies. Anthony up on the wing. Thomas started like a shot tonight, but his star has dimmed. And his kick misses the target there, or doesn't. It'll be a throw-in.
Hawthorn supporters so happy. They haven't had much to be happy about this year, but this is their best win for the season, no doubt.
Boundary throw in, half forward for the Magpies. Thomas tried to get it to Beams. Well done, Shields. Gillum back to Shields. Franklin did it brilliantly over the top. McGlynn. Look at the runners through the midfield. Hodge, Guerra, now Birchall. Brown running as well, but Birchall elects to kick towards full forward. Roughhead in a great spot. Gee, it's hard as a defender when the ball is moved so efficiently and with so much speed through the middle of the ground, as Hawthorn have done in the second half tonight. And Roughhead with an opportunity to kick his 3rd goal of the quarter, 3rd for the match.
That was their 400th disposal, the Hawks, 222 by hand.
Roughhead, lovely relaxed kicking action, but kicks across the face and through for a behind.
And Roughhead finding some form in the last quarter. Franklin really coming back to his best. Rioli running into fitness and form after a spell with injury. There are some very good signs. Hodge outstanding in the midfield. Suddenly Hawthorn looking dangerous. O'Brien, brave. And he makes the clearance for the Magpies, but Birchall balances it on the palm of the hand. Campbell Brown hasn't been at his best, but there it is. It is a very significant win to Hawthorn. By 44 points, the Collingwood winning streak comes to an end at 7. They say it's the hope that kills. Well, Hawthorn fans will keep hoping for at least another week. The final margin. How dangerous are they?
Well, I think one of the positives is that so many of them had poor pre-seasons, in that they took such a battering in winning last year's grand final, and I suppose Trent Crowe's the one that hasn't come back, but the rest of them are starting to get a lot, some great run under their belts.
Mark Howard.
Well, big fella, you're down at half-time. It's a massive game for the club. In 3rd quarter, everything just seemed to click.
Yeah, definitely. It was a massive game for us. Collingwood are always a a good team and strong, so we knew we had to play our best football to get over the line. The boys fought hard, which is just great. It's a great win.
What about your own form, mate? You look confident. The swagger seem to be back. You're kicking well and really starting to move into your work.
Yeah, I was off to a slow start during the whole season so far. So to find some form today was good, and just looking forward to the rest of the season. Got some big games coming up, so hopefully we can get a few together and hopefully play finals again, which should be good.
You talk about the big games, Geelong next week, mate. Good history between the club in recent times.
Yeah, it's going to be the rematch, so we're really looking forward to it. We've got nothing to lose now, so we're just going to go out there and have a crack.
Enjoy the win, mate. Well played.
No, thanks.
Oh, yes, there are some happy Hawks at the MCG. Can they worry Geelong, Wolsey?
I think they can, Tim. Their last couple of weeks have been really good. We've spoken about their veteran players who played well, but Schoenmakers was really good tonight. Josh Kennedy was terrific. McGlynn did his job, and the two boys in the ruck, Taylor and Renouf, they were excellent as well.